What's up, people? What's up? We are back. We are live. It's just welcome to the Black Guys podcast. Yeah. I don't know where 3 Dub is, but I mean, wherever he's at, I hope he's
dying off of that Power Rangers clip.
No, that was funny. No, we did that to crash out over that like that. That was definitely that was funny. That was funny. What's up, Dalton? Ragu? Yes, this hurt me because like this TV season has been like disappointing is an understatement because it just seems like they cancel all the good stuff. Then they bring in stuff that it's just CBS and ABC. It seems like they changing their formula. They might be going the way of CW in my eyes. I don't know. Maybe not that drastic, but it is what it is. You have any other favorite show like besides like Chicago Fire and stuff that's possibly gotten canceled or announced for a final season recently? Not saying that Chicago Fire has, but none of those shows have been announced to be renewed yet, and it's getting kind of late in the game.
I don't know. I haven't been watching except for that latest episode. So I guess outside of that, I'm waiting for that one show we was talking about yesterday. I forgot what it's called.
I forgot what he was talking about.
The fucking the Baywatch knockoff.
Rescue High Surf. Did they get renewed?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they did yet. Which they got good views and stuff. So, and there should be no reason to cancel it because they got white people in it.
Yeah, because I don't remember if it got renewed or not.
I don't think it got renewed yet, but I'm hoping it do.
It's on Fox, right? I haven't heard nothing about no Fox renewals.
Yeah, they probably coming up soon, but I'm pretty sure that I think they actually film in Hawaii, so I don't know.
They probably gonna say, "Oh, we got to cut the budget down."
Yeah, the Rookie did get renewed. Well, the cast is not massive for that show.
The Rookie got renewed, and they just upped.
They upped Yo from All American.
Yeah, he got up to a series regular. So I mean, that's cool. I like his character. I just feel like they got rid of the other guy so quick. Yeah.
The other black guy?
What season? No, not the other black guy. The other rookie that was introduced this season. They got rid of him like fast. The white dude? Yeah, and like they never went. Like they never went back. Like I thought it was gonna be something like he was a villain or something. Like he came back as a villain or something. Like that would have been cool, but it just seems like you just signed up for he wasn't even in 10 episodes. I don't think.
I just started watching the show, so I only know who you're talking about because my sister watched it.
Did you? Are you gonna watch the ill-fated spinoff, Rookie Feds? Those characters still show up in universe, which I think is cool, except for Niecy Nash's character. Like honestly, Feds was really good. Feds was really good. Like I can't lie, it only got canceled because of the strikes.
Like the Chicago Fire universe, they had a lawyer show, and they had one season that got canceled. So I'm not watching that shit.
But I mean, Rookie Feds only got canceled because of the strikes. Like that was literally the legitimate reason was we had to do it for the strikes. I said that is so dumb. You could cancel that for the strikes, but not the actual Rookie. And then they're talking about another spinoff, but I mean, nothing's come of that since they said it initially, I guess. So, I mean, I guess it's a wait and see. But like my videos have been like blowing up about like these TV shows on TikTok. I'm genuinely disappointed because it seems like everything I love is just getting canceled, and it's not a good reason. Like CBS has been on my hit list since they canceled CSI, talking about we just didn't have no space on the network. You have more than just the fall season. You act like summer premieres aren't a thing. You act like winter premieres are not a thing. Mid-season is not a bad thing.
Yeah,
Get away from my door.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you
Usually
want
they
a
don't have
snack,
anything
get a
on
snack.
during summertime. Summertime usually dry for those networks.
And it doesn't
Or they
have
got
to
like
be
one
though.
or two shows or something like that that's on.
Like it genuinely, it does not have to be. Like I think the CW is the one network that would still air stuff like year round.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a lot.
Yeah.
It
And
was
they
like a
will
couple
open it up
things.
for like Sundays and stuff too. Like
Yeah,
CW broke the mold when they did the whole Sunday thing.
yeah. Your wife said hi. Hello. I'm just now
Hello.
seeing that.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
just told you.
Darren, we don't know
Yes,
where
Daren.
3Dub is at, like at all.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
hope he's
where
okay.
at.
Probably sleep.
Yeah, he might be asleep. Who knows?
Yeah. It
Getting
is what
dressed.
it is. What else? But besides that, they did tease that. Well, not tease. They told us the Wednesday teaser is premiering tomorrow, and I'm actually like I'm excited for that. Don't judge me. Like Wednesday was goated.
No, I
Like
liked it too.
that's one of my favorite Netflix shows, and it don't even. It's been 2 years. Like
That's because she been busy.
yeah, like that's crazy. I'm really excited for this new season of Wednesday. We got any
I'm
Wednesday
hyped
fans in
for
the
it, but
chat?
they got rid of one of the actors, and then Jenna Ortega talked about she don't want the love interest, so they had to change some stuff around. So I'm wondering how
Really?
that's going.
I
Yeah,
knew about getting rid of that one actor because, like, wasn't he like,
he was beating on women or something like that.
which is so random. That
It's weird because I knew him from The Gifted.
yeah. Oh, he was the kid. He was a kid.
He
He
was
was
the brother.
yeah, the brother. Which is like you would have never thought about. You would have never thought about that. Like
Yeah, but
it's like
yeah.
really weird. Like that he's out here hitting women. Like what?
Hold on, I'll be back real quick. I gotta go check this steak in the goddamn oven.
I want some steak.
Listen, man. Yeah, I'll think about it.
Yes, Darren. Oh, dang, Darren, you actually just pointed that. I did not think about it. Tomorrow was Wednesday, and the trailer is dropping on Wednesday. And yeah, you're right, Dalton. The strikes did happen. It's just crazy that it's been that long. Like I think me and my wife binge watched this show in like 2 days. I think we legitimately binge watched it in 2 days, and yeah, I mean, it was just that good. So I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. I can't wait to see what this season has in store. I probably should rewatch season 1 or watch like a rundown of season 1. I'm not depends on when the show is going to premiere if I rewatch it or not. But I need to do a rundown. If I rewatch something and I don't watch like Game of Thrones or something, like the guys are gonna, or Star Wars, the guys are gonna like gang up and beat me up. So I'd rather avoid bodily harm. But yeah, Omega wants a snack. Omega, if you're at home, jump in the stream, you weirdo. Cameron, Lance, I have seen somewhere that the showrunner of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury pitched the idea to Hasbro that he wanted to do a season with Trini daughter and Tommy son. That would actually been cool to see because we have not seen Tommy son in live action. So I would love to see who they would have cast. And since Trini's daughter is canonically now the new Yellow Ranger of the Mighty Morphin team, that would have been cool to see also. That it would also been cool to have referenced the fact that they have a new Yellow Ranger. Since Billy was a part of Cosmic Fury, he could have like just dropped that gem, especially since we saw Trini in that. What's up, Darren? My boy Darren saw Sinners today. Just let me know what you think. No spoilers, but let me know what you thought.
Too white. No, it's fantastic. It's amazing.
Like going into it, what were you expecting going into it?
I mean, I've heard everyone say it's like a cinematic masterpiece. It's like a modern classic. So I was stoked. I was like, all right, I'm ready to see a good movie. And it was a great movie. Fantastic.
No, like legitimately, like Ryan Coogler. Nobody take his pen. Nobody take his pen. Nobody. the way he writes, the way his mind thinks.
Mm.
Keep it's his movies. None of them have had low scores from Fruitvale Station up until now. The man is gifted. He's gifted.
Yeah.
And
I think going forward, he is officially going to go into the conversation of greatest of all time in terms of directors. Like, he may not have these classics that a lot of these other directors have now, but he hasn't had a miss so far. Like, he has not had a single miss, and I think this is going to send him places he hasn't been before. Like, Black Panther was huge for him, obviously. Like, that really sent him places. But this, I feel like, is going to send him in other directions. And you know, I'm watching this, I'm like, could it be an Oscar winner? Like, could it be nominated? And I feel like it's still very early on, and sometimes they kind of forget these like spring movies, but I think it could. Hey, Tosh.
I almost burnt my goddamn hand taking them steaks out the oven. Yeah. It was rough. What we talking about?
He saw Sinners, so I was asking him his thoughts, and we're talking about how Ryan Coogler is like the GOAT right now. Like,
yeah,
he's my dad.
Like, it's just so cool to see like a black director getting his props, but Variety. God, I hate that, and I don't even think it's all of Variety. It's just Rachel, whatever her name is. She always got something to say. She always has something to say. Whoa!
Well, you know how they are when it comes to stuff like this. So,
hey, yo, this is news.
What the hell just happened?
A new FBI series with a surprising lead that we
Tom
all
Ellis.
like.
Yeah, Tom Ellis. I saw that.
I saw that earlier.
I'm watching this. Like, I didn't watch none of the other FBI's. I don't know if I need
watch
to.
My man Lucifer, man.
I'm watching this because of him alone.
Yeah, I am too. I ain't gonna lie.
Like, CBS,
is it bad? I was kind of sad when
but
I saw this, just because I was like, oh man, now he's stuck in a procedural for the next 5 years.
Well, I mean, here's the issue: is that Hollywood kind of sucks right now. You're either in something superhero.
Yeah.
If you're in something like brand new that's created, like an original IP, it usually don't get no light unless you're like an outlier like Sinners. But like, you gotta have big names attached to it for people to check it out. So unfortunately, it sucks. Would I love him in other roles? Yes. Will Hollywood change in the next couple years? Maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, like, it's a great gig. Like, he won't have to audition for the next while.
I mean, listen, what network is it on?
CBS, the network I got beef with. This is hilarious that this is announced.
He getting money.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
This is hilarious because this is announced because, like, all of this down here, like, the spinoff of The Neighborhood got canceled hours after this, as well as Papa's House. So, like, that was very depressing to find out because, like, you cancel black-led comedies. So,
dude, speaking of teasers, I know we was talking about Wednesday before I had to go check the food. Yo, they dropped the Zombies teaser. About damn time.
I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah,
I knew it was happening. I thought it was gonna be like fall. Like, I wasn't expecting summer.
They filmed it after she because remember, Daren, she was in season 3 of High School Musical. After that, she was doing what's that show she did? The Winchesters. But while she was doing that, they were filming
gotcha.
Zombies 4 or whatever. So
when did she do all of all the Supergirl voiceovers?
That was,
I guess, in between.
A long time ago.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I guess around the same time.
How do you know I'm not hosting?
Yeah.
Right. He could be shadow hosting. Yeah. I'm excited though. Daren, you gotta watch those movies. We got to do it live and talk about it.
So wait, you've never seen Zombies?
I've been waiting. No.
Whoa.
2 is the best one.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love the music for it. Like, I've had it on my
that's crazy.
Legacy
When you told me that, I was like, you know the songs but haven't seen the movie.
Yeah,
That's kind of crazy. But
I know some of the
Lucy
songs. I
is
don't know
just-
all of them.
Yeah, but yeah, like
Oh,
two is definitely the
Come
best.
on,
one.
come on. We're gonna talk about it because I'm heartbroken. Like I had
Oh, y'all could talk about it, but you know.
I had two in 1 week. 2 in 1 week, bro.
Yeah.
2 in 1 week.
I mean, but what's his name? He dies in the
Oh.
game though. He dies in the game though. So like when it happened, I know a lot of people who didn't see the game or play the game was like heartbroken. But that's the only thing one of the few things I know about the game. So when it happened, I was like, oh, I know that. I was like, it was gonna happen. I don't know why people expected him to stay on.
Dalton.
Cameron says, I hope Zombies
FBI
4 is
makes
better.
sense.
Yeah, because Zombies 3 was kind of weird. They brought like aliens in, and it was like, what the fuck are we doing? 4, we got vampires, and they look like they gave it budget compared to the third one. But then the third one came out around COVID or whatever.
What's up, Draven? I
How
hope
you
it's
holding
better
up,
too, 'cause
Draven?
They're doing vampires, so.
Did you see my videos?
I saw your reactions on TikTok.
I'm being called a bitch right now for being a man that's crying. So
That's weird.
You know how TikTok is.
Sounds like social media.
Yeah.
yeah, otherwise good.
Hey, don't worry about it. Trust me, I saw more men crying over 911. So, and I was one of them.
I was about to say you were one of them.
What the fuck is 911? Am I stupid?
Only the greatest procedural drama to ever happen.
You done lost your mind.
They killed off the captain. Yeah, they killed off the captain after after 8 seasons, and then
they got renewed.
No, they did it after they got. They're smart as hell. They waited till after they got renewed to air that episode. They smart, because their ratings are about to tank. Like for this episode alone, the ratings already this is the lowest rated episode. People are that pissed.
How many do they have left?
Episodes?
Yeah, of this season.
Oh, I don't know.
Wait, what are you talking about? Last of Us?
911.
Oh, no. No fucking no.
Let me see.
6 episodes.
Because, again, I don't watch it, but, I assume they'll watch till the end of the season, and then I assume next we'll have this.
What is this show called? 9-1-1?
It's just
it's about first responders.
Yeah, it's just one of those, procedural...
Lame.
They have 18 episodes this season.
Cameron said that they have 3. Okay.
3 episodes left, and they did this? Wow.
That's so silly. Why would they...
Lame.
Phil isn't a virgin. We know.
Howdy.
He's the sex machine. What's up, Phil?
What's
More
up,
of a
Phil?
sex machine than you, anyway.
I mean, I would hope so. I'm married.
Perks of being 33 and single, bud.
Hey, to each their own.
Right. Each their own. What'd I miss?
Oh, you know, just Joel getting his head bashed. Oh, spoilers.
Hey, no, but
what?
like Draven, I'm right with you, bro. Because seeing that after seeing what I saw earlier this week, it kind of choked me up because I knew it was gonna happen. Everybody should know it was gonna happen if they played the games. You know, I've been following the games. I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't expect it this soon. I thought they would let him get through half of season 2, change it up a little bit. But episode 2 is insane.
I respect the hell out of it. I really.
It's ballsy. It's ballsy. Yeah. That's for sure.
Because the way they marketed the show, saying, "Oh
Bro.
yeah, Pedro Pascal's still in it." Yeah.
All I gotta say, my dad texted me right after he finished the episode. He was fucking mad, bro. He says he's done watching the show. I'm like, damn. He's like, did you know that was gonna happen? I'm like, yeah.
It's just like when shows do ballsy stuff like that. Killing off a character is ballsy, especially if you don't know what's coming. If an actor didn't announce they're leaving.
Okay, this show is either gonna be fine or it's gonna be like The Walking Dead. How after Glenn died, it just fucking
damn it, Lance.
went down.
You beat me by 1 second.
But the thing with The Walking Dead, they shouldn't have done the fake out because we were ready for it. They kept swapping all the deaths because Abraham should have got what happened to the original character Abby or whatever her name is. That should have been That should have been Abraham's
Yeah,
death.
it's Denise,
Denise,
not Abby, not Abby.
I forgot what her name was. Like
Abby,
I don't know why I thought it was Abby.
because you watched Last of Us.
But here's the thing: when Rick died, we should have had what Last of Us has now with Ellie,
Rick didn't
right?
die.
Like,
Rick didn't die though.
I mean, when he quote unquote died, like when he left the show, right? Like we should have had that replacement character, but they had already killed him off. So it's like, well,
What if Joel survived? No, I'm just kidding.
I do
He's
see some
fucked.
people who like hadn't played the game to be like, well, like maybe he can come back by a blah blah. I was like, no.
You know what I keep saying?
No.
You know what I keep saying? I keep seeing a bunch of fucking angry man babies being like, why isn't Caitlyn Dever jacked? Why isn't she super fucking fit? Why isn't she supposed to be a fucking muscle-bound fucking lesbian? I'm like, what?
She's not a
What?
not
They
a video
complain
game
she
character.
was stupid and freaking jacked in the game.
Yeah, people are fucking dumb.
I saw someone say like, man, the game did it so much better. Abby was so jacked. I was like, dude, I hope you get cooked in the fucking comments because this is fucking ignorant. And then other fanboys started coming down my throat. Oh, what's the matter? You commenting on women's physique? That's fucking massage. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Really?
What the fuck are
I'm
they
the one.
doing?
I
What the fuck were
just
they
shook my
5
head.
years ago when the game released?
I was like, you're out of your fucking mind. I said, if Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin want to do what they want with their fucking show, Neil Druckmann being the creator of The Last of Us, they are well within their creative right to do so. Yeah, but it would have been so much more accurate if she was jacked. I'm just like, you missed the fucking point. You were completely out of your fucking mind, out to lunch, just because you want a little redhead to have muscles. Fuck you. Fuck you. 10 ways to Sunday. Finish watching the show and continue to fucking cry harder about how Caitlyn Dever doesn't have the muscles you want. As far as I know, Caitlyn Dever did exactly what she fucking needed to do. I knew she was going to fucking rock Joel's socks off, and it was great.
Incredible.
It was fantastic. If you've ever seen Last Man Standing, you know damn good and well why Caitlyn Dever is perfect for that fucking role.
She's an amazing actress. Always has been, always will be. I was mad when she left Last Man Standing. I was pissed. So seeing her on Last of Us, seeing her still working in general, I'm happy. Like, hey, you got cast in this role. You did your job. It's the same thing with every single role on this show. People talking about they should have did better casting with this show. They cast the people that they felt were good for the job, and they're doing a good job in these roles. I'm surprised they're not complaining about. They complain about Pedro Pascal being Joel, but they're not complaining about they're not complaining about the one obvious race swap that normally these people would complain about because
Tommy's
they're so
wife?
because they're so mad about
did.
Bella Ramsey
In season 1, yeah.
being Ellie.
Yeah.
They did. I didn't see it. I'm shocked I didn't see it.
not hot
but-
enough to be Ellie. I'm like, motherfucker, this is a child. The fuck's wrong
Yeah.
with y'all?
You're not supposed to find her hot.
Come on, we're
That's
not
the
talking
point.
about her.
Arthur,
now.
place
Besides,
this meme on full blast right now. Oh my
Besides,
god.
I never found Ellie to be that attractive anyway in the game. Like, she's fucking 12 in the first one. I mean, even in the second game.
Listen, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Omega, but check it out, man.
But-
There are fucking video game characters you were allowed to gawk at, i.e., Devil May Cry, Resident Evil. Like Capcom does this for a very explicit reason, and then there are characters that you just tell your fucking story with. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. But no, everything has to be a fucking. Oh man, I wish
Jake's
Bella Ramsey
early.
was cuter.
Oh my god.
Oh wow. Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
and like, don't get. They're gonna say, "Oh, you just don't like." Look, I got the statue of fucking Emma Frost right here. I'm pretty much. I make Gooner shit. Get off my. Actually, get on it.
Give me something to goon, Omega. I'll goon do it.
Okay.
Oh no.
And he's pulling out.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh,
The can't come off. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to get demonetized again.
Fuck yeah.
again.
Wait, didn't he get them demonetized again, or now you got it back? I don't know.
Yeah, I just got it back, but I got.
I thought you were talking about you. Okay.
Oh no, I don't really.
I like how this
Not
comment's
really.
still up. That was an act. It was okay. It wasn't an accident, but I apologize multiple times for that. Okay. I've repented. I've been forgiven. Come on, man.
And yet you're somehow still not fired.
Dalton, this
Yes,
is
it's
true.
bitches.
This
Yo.
is true.
Jake,
What?
what'd you think of the Oblivion trailer? Have you played it yet?
He's been rock hard about it all fucking day, Draven.
I'd
looks-
rather play Expedition 30.
He has no
You
words.
know, a new fucking game.
Ah,
I played Oblivion a billion times. I got Shivering. I still have the Shivering Owls.
yep.
With or without mods?
Sure.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. So out of like the main three, I'll be honest. Or so I say main three, the most recent three.
Morrowind,
Out of the
Oblivion,
main
Skyrim.
Yeah. Out of those three, Oblivion was probably the one I played the least.
I still have.
I still love it to bits.
Oh, you even freaking got the map. Look,
I've
played the
got
game.
that
It's
too.
great.
Hold on.
I'm done.
Hold on. I've got that too, Draven.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got
Right
the
here
map.
on my desk. Right here. Come on. Turn out. There it is.
Yeah, I got this
Yeah,
freaking
yeah.
PC disc right here. I played Oblivion a billion times. I love the game. I'm playing
Daren
something
do?
else. As a matter of fact, I'm about to buy Expedition 33 right now.
What is
And
that
I-
game?
Oh,
What is that? What-
I had this back from when I got like my old copy of Skyrim because it came with it.
It's a logo.
I don't know. It comes out in 2
Why are
days.
people complaining?
You know, I said on Threads, is the only thing Bethesda good at these days is repackaging and remastering games.
Yes. Yep.
Well, you would think that, but even in the countless amount of remasters they've done, they still don't fix issues with the game that have been in there since day one.
Right.
Like they can add new stuff in there all the live long day, but they don't fix day one bugs. That is not in their wheelhouse.
Right. I did some digging, and apparently, like after Starfield release, they went like whole hog on fucking working on Elder Scrolls 6. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I actually
Right.
like Starfield. It was buggy as fuck, but that's a fun game.
I didn't care for Starfield because it's like I play Star Citizen, so I'd rather just play that. And then
Oh.
Baldur's Gate 3 came out at around a similar time, so I was like, I would just play Baldur's Gate 3.
I mean, it was less buggy than something like Fallout 4.
I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just it just didn't grab me.
That's fair.
Friend of mine
Wanted
did the same
game
thing.
to grab you.
Yes,
Friend of
I
mine
wanted to
said the
grab
same
me.
thing.
Daren
A friend of
said
mine's
he will
former
be back.
coworker said like he started playing Starfield, he beat Starfield, and he was like, all right, I don't feel like going back to this. And then like literally right around the same time Baldur's Gate 3 came out, he's like, dude, I'm stuck on Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I'm on my third playthrough.
Yeah, I think the original Baldur's Gate still holds up.
Never
Yeah,
played
if you
any of them.
can-
Never played them.
I played the second one, and I played a little bit of Icewind Dale until I
Yeah.
went. Oh, the fourth panel, like you go. There's like four. I go
Yeah.
through 4 areas, and I fight an ice troll, and I die. I was
Yeah.
level 2.
Hey, these are just early reviews, Lance.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No,
I know. I'm. That's what I was just about to say. I'm like, it's early reviews, but you know how that can go.
Yeah, it had
Bro,
the-
you're at like a premiere at a fucking all-time high. Like, of course,
Yeah.
you're gonna fucking great.
of course they premiered it first in the United Kingdom. Of course they did.
yeah,
Yeah,
Half the cast is from Europe, so
right.
makes sense.
but they said Sebastian Stan isn't there either.
Yeah, I saw someone post a screen grab on Threads of Olga Kurylenko apparently wasn't there either, and people are trying to make it a big story, like, oh, she's mad, and it's like, fucking
What would she
stupid.
be mad about? She was
Right.
cast in the film and knew
Right.
what was going to happen.
Right.
Right.
Like that's dumb. But I mean, they're fairly positive. I'll reserve judgment for next week
Yeah, just wait till the
When
fucking
it-
movie.
comes out. But I mean, apparently, y'all be careful on Twitter because apparently some idiots leaked the post-credit scenes already.
I heard there's 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's two.
there's a
Mid and
mid
post.
credit. Yeah, mid and post. Yep.
Post. So somebody leaked that already. But I mean, if this is a hit, good. I hope it is because people have been talking so much trash about this movie without saying it, as the internet tends to do.
Yeah, I saw the trailer when I went to go see Sinners earlier today. It seemed pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah. So
First, I was
Yeah.
kind of towards it. Now I actually want to see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
it should be good.
Whenever they announced that whole, like the fact that the movie was happening, I read a good amount of Thunderbolts that was coming out like around the Civil War time. So, that team that was led by Songbird when that time was the Thunderbolts I knew. And I kind of knew as this movie was coming out, it's like, yeah, okay, none of these comic Thunderbolts are going to be in this. Like, we're not
Speaking
gonna
of
see-
Songbird, she is in the film technically.
but like, we're not going to see, like Moonstone. We're not going to see, people like Robbie Baldwin. I thought this would have been a good opportunity. Obviously we hadn't seen what would happen yet in Daredevil, but with Bullseye being a comic Thunderbolt, I thought it would have been a good way to reintegrate him. But we saw what Daredevil was doing with that. But I got past the fact pretty quickly that they weren't using any comic Thunderbolts, because the premise is still the same, and people were comparing it to well, it's like, oh, is this just Marvel Suicide Squad? It's like, no, the key difference is that Suicide Squad are a bunch of criminals with their lives being threatened. That's why they're doing what they do. Whereas Thunderbolts were actually villains that felt remorse for what they did and wanted to reform. Key difference.
And I hate that people are running with that description of what Thunderbolts is, because it's painting a false narrative. And then that's when you start the whole, Marvel's trying to copy off what James Gunn did, yada yada yada, and vice versa. It's very just annoying.
Just like when Suicide Squad came out, and people were like, "Oh, are they just trying to copy off what James Gunn did in Guardians?" It's the same cycle going around again.
Yeah, it's very stupid. It's very stupid. Speaking of other Marvel things, we might as well stick in the Marvel train of things. The Fantastic Four trailer. I know Phil is like really hyped for that film, as we all should be. Phil, you want to kick it off with your thoughts?
Well, I mean, not to humble brag, but like I've been okay, let's wind the clock back a little bit. So I've been a Fantastic Four fan since I was a kid. They've always kind of came up alongside, Spider-Man, stuff like that. And I just like that concept a lot. The Marvel's first family, the Thing, Human Torch, Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic, like all of those characters are very interesting in their own way. It's so weird because after Fan 4 Stick, me being the fan of the stuff that I am, people would ask me, well, what would you do with the Fantastic Four if you, like, hypothetically speaking, if you were the head of like Marvel or whatever, like what would you do with the Fantastic Four? I was like, oh, I would turn it into a period piece set in the 60s. That's exactly what they're doing with this movie. And I was like, I'm literally getting the movie that I would like to see the Fantastic Four play around in. And I'm getting a comic accurate Galactus. I'm getting Norrin Rad's wife, Shala Ball, as the Silver Surfer. I'm assuming Franklin Richards, because he is the oldest one. He was introduced first in the comics. He is a Jack Kirby Stan Lee creation, and they make it pretty clear that she's pregnant, and I'm kind of hoping that like it is Franklin. They could throw a curveball and make it Valeria first. I won't rule that out, but I'm banking on it being Franklin Richards. Because Franklin Richards is one of the most powerful characters in Marvel. He is so fucking broken. He is, dude. If people think Cable's powerful, it's like, no, Franklin Richards trounces him 10 ways to fucking Sunday. Yeah. Like, Franklin Richards has the ability to create a fucking pocket universe. That's how strong this kid is. He is brokenly fucking powerful. And I love the retro futuristic look of it. I like that it's set in its own universe. I think that's actually really smart.
Yeah.
I think the entire cast is perfect. It's pitch perfect. Like Pedro is Reed, Vanessa Kirby is Sue, Joseph Quinn is Johnny, and fucking Ebon Moss-Bachrach is Thing. Oh my god, he's fucking perfect. Like there is not one bad casting in this movie. And if you have a problem with Shala Ball as Silver Surfer, fuck out of my face. I don't even want to talk to you.
Yep. Bro, who doesn't want to see a silver painted lady?
Weirdos. That's all there is to it. Weirdos.
I was having the same debate on Facebook the other day of like somebody who claimed to be like an older fan, and they would go, oh, what's this thing that they're happening with the Silver Surfer now? Are they changing this thing? Or are they just trying to, go woke and all that? It's like, hey, listen, you're claiming to be, someone who read these things in an older generation. Just because something is not what you knew and what you're familiar with doesn't mean it's something that didn't already exist. So and these are the same type of people that want, new and innovative things, but then bitch and complain when they get them. So it's like, you're just as bad as the other people you're complaining about.
I kind of have one criticism for Shala Ball, Silver Surfer. The CGI looks kind of bad.
I don't think
that's the only complaint. That's the only complaint. CGI is kind of bad. And maybe it's just the picture, maybe in different lighting she'll look better, but
I don't think it's
finished. I don't think it's finished. And remember the the Norman Rad version from 2007, that was a practical suit with just effects added on top.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
This is fully
Yeah.
CGI. Phil, you don't. Me personally, I've always thought that the Fantastic Four's Earth was just a Earth that looked like it was still the 60s, like just free, like retro futuristic. But you think that they're literally in the 60s on their Earth?
I think so. Yeah, I think the time frame is 1960s esque. I think that's why they're making it another universe. They're setting the clock back. Like, look at other past period pieces, right? You had Captain Marvel set in the 90s. You had Captain America, First Avenger, set in the 40s. The Eternals spanned across like a 4,000 year time span, and it covered certain points in Marvel's history. But we've also seen, the 70s in the Marvel Cinematic Universe by way of Avengers Endgame. We've seen other time frames, right? Like we've seen the MCU in past tense and past presence. None of it looks like what it looks like in the Fantastic Four. So, and even Matt Shackman's like, yeah, this is our own universe. We get to play around in it for a little while. The only heroes here are the Fantastic Four, and the world looks at them like, the MCU looks at the Avengers, right? Like that, I think, is actually really ingenious, because I have to wonder, when they announced they were making the movie back in 2019, when they initially had that super logo that was like black and blue. Was the initial plan to just try and fit it in the MCU. And then over time, as they were developing the project, had writers come in and out, whatever. And, John Watts was at one point attached to direct it. And then he steps away not long after Spider-Man No Way Home. I wonder if at some point was the idea to have them be integrated in the MCU completely, fully, and you just pop them out of a pocket universe or something. And that's how they suddenly appear and make their appearance. Or was the creative decision at some point prior to this current cast and Matt Shackman's directorial debut? Well, I don't know if it's his directorial debut, maybe on a big budget film, but my point is like, at what point, if it was at one point to be integrated in the MCU proper across the main timeline, at what point did they make the decision to go, what if we put it in its own universe first?
That way, you been right around the time of Watts, because he stepped away
He stepped away, and I wonder if the idea was like, hey, we want to do this with the movie, and John Watts probably went, well, I don't really have that kind of craftsmanship. I don't really feel like doing a period piece, so maybe find someone else to do it. Like I don't know. This is all conjecture and pure speculation on my part. I have no idea what prompted John Watts to walk away, but it's just very interesting to me that and that's the thing. This isn't just pertinent to Fantastic Four. If you go back and look at some of the logos they revealed for other movies up to the point of production then release, case in point, Thor Ragnarok had a very, very different image of its logo when they announced it on the slate, and then we get the film and it's a completely different logo. Yeah. This isn't the first time this has happened. I mean, They did it for Thunderbolts. They've done it for, again, as I mentioned, Thor Ragnarok. Doctor Strange, definitely, especially Multiverse of Madness. That's what I'm getting at, yeah. This is something they just do, and it's a creative process. And it just kind of that's the part that intrigues me about Fantastic Four the most. I'm just like, at what point did they decide to turn it into a 60s alternate universe? At what point did they make the decision to set it aside in its own universe? But even then, that also makes more sense because of what they're doing with Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars with the incursions happening. So it's going to be inevitable.
Yeah, that switch might have been the best thing for it, because if they would have just tried to fit it in its own piece in modern mainstay MCU as we've come to know it, they would have been confined by A, B, C all the way to Z for things that they could and couldn't include in their story. And I think this is the best way for them to tell the story that they wanted to tell, was to just put it in its own pocket, tell that story there the way they want it to, and then with everybody, with the Russos, with Shackman, everybody who's part of this creative process, figure out how to integrate them into mainstay timeline. That they actually tell the story of their first outing the way that they want to.
Yeah, how'd you put them in the MCU proper immediately? Then you have to jump through the hoops of does Reed Richards, did he know Tony Stark? Did Sue Storm know Aunt May? You have to jump through all these.
Why weren't they here for this? Why weren't they here for that? It would have been
right.
The whole thing again.
Exactly. And now putting them in their own universe frees them of all of that. It just allows them to focus on the story that they want to tell.
Because it would have been an Eternals thing all over again. Because they're like, oh, why didn't they help here? Why didn't they help here? It would have been that.
In fairness, the Eternals actually had a really good reason for not interfering with anything.
Fair.
So me personally, I don't mind it. I think it's smart that they're in a alternate dimension on a separate Earth. I've always went about the fact that this is just an Earth that is still like 60s-esque, like retro futuristic, but they are set. Yeah, but they are set in like the year they're in is like still in the MCU's timeline, 2027, however far in the future. It's just still a Earth that has been, retrofitted to look differently, because like in Multiverse of Madness, a lot of those Earths looked vastly different.
Oh yeah.
And I thought of it in the same way, like Ty just heard me say this, like they did with the Flash in Earth 2. Earth 2 looked drastically different than the main timeline Earth. They dressed like they were, in the past.
Even like the lighting of the cities and everything.
The lighting of the city, yeah. Yeah, like they looked like they were from like the even further back, not even the 60s, like the way that the cops were dressed and the way that like Barry Allen would be dressed, but it was still
railways they had and everything.
It was still present. It was still present day, because yes, I know through incursions anything can happen, and either way it goes, honestly, if they are actually in the 60s or it's just a 60s based Earth, I hope that they take out time to show us how they got acclimated to being in present day, or to be in I'm not even going to say a normal Earth, but to be on an Earth that's basically modern, if I can say it like that. I hope we get to see, because that's going to be jarring. Anything like getting plucked from where you are and dropped into a different environment is jarring in general. But this is going to be something to see, and I'm honestly really excited for it, because they talk differently, they move differently, they think differently. A lot of their, not even going to say a lot of their technology, all their technology works differently. It's going to be so cool to see how they get integrated into the main MCU universe. Where are they going to fit it on Earth 1999? What are they going to be doing? I cannot wait to see all of this. Like it's like this movie has the potential to be one of the best from Marvel so this year. Like honestly, I'm not even going to say I think it's going to be the best Marvel film this year, because it has so much writing on it, and it has to stick the landing. It has to be the best Fantastic Four film. It has to be.
Once Reed sees, like what the technological difference is from, where they're at their universe to where, to how far technology has advanced in main modern MCU now, he's probably going to have a fucking field day with this. And he's going to be like one of these main players going forward. And he's going to be in like these aspects that we've seen of characters like Tony and Bruce over the years. And like, I imagine, at least, I don't know how much more of a role that they're going to continue to have, but like the stuff we've seen in Wakanda too, as far as technology.
Dalton, that's fair. I just want it to make sense, if you get what I mean. And that's just my theory. I've always thought that this Earth was just a 60s era Earth, but they were in present day. They just didn't evolve all of their stuff. But that's just been me. But either way can go. Like if I'm right, cool. If I'm not, cool. It feels right, cool. Either way it goes, it's gonna be cool to see how jarring it is when they just get dropped into another universe because Galactus ate this whole planet. So, and it just makes me wonder, like, just because he eats the Earth, like, he's eating the Earth, but not the universe that the Earth is in. So, like, how does to just get plucked from your entire universe is going to be insane.
Yeah, and like how much like whenever that Earth is, say hypothetically it is consumed, his Galactus's whole thing is that he converts those planets into energy that he can absorb, and those are what sustain him and make him stronger. So, with that Earth being consumed, whenever he is faced on or faced down, I guess, like, how much more potent of a threat is he going to be? Are we going to see his lower tier heralds, or not really heralds, but like his lower tier underlings, people like Terrax and Firelord pulling from like deep, Fantastic Four history there with those two. They have kind of an opportunity to do that, and with all the different aesthetics that they're pulling from already, they could pull back with some of that history that you saw, and like these were characters that were run back in the 80s. And because, let's face it, the Fantastic Four don't have that much of a publicly known rogues gallery. So
Outside
bringing
of Dr. Doom and Galactus,
And Mold Man.
So bringing
Yeah,
some of those
and Mold
characters
Man.
in could definitely flesh that out.
Yeah, I think they're gonna save a majority of those characters for when we get Fantastic Four 2, and for when it's like just for when they're on the 616 Earth. Those crossovers alone that they could do is gonna be so dope, because we finally have the Fantastic Four on this man. I guarantee you later on down the line, if Tom Holland is still playing Spider-Man, we're gonna see Fantastic Four, have a run-in with him. Gonna possibly She-Hulk, possibly the new X-Men. It's just so Disney acquiring Fox opened up the doors. It's just taken so long to get here.
I just hope we don't kill Johnny Storm for the sake of setting up Future Foundation.
I mean, Future
Oh, I hope
Foundation is
not.
already a thing,
I
though,
hope
isn't
not.
it?
Yeah, the Future Foundation's already a thing. Like, Sue's already the head of the Future Foundation in this movie.
There we go then.
Yeah. And again, Marvel takes their liberties with certain
Yeah.
ideas. From what Matt Shackman said is Reed Richards on this planet is the smartest man in the world, and Sue Storm is the most empathetic and emotionally intelligent person on the planet. So that makes sense to me. But the fact that, like, when people ask Reed, like, are you going to be able to save us? And he says, I don't know. It's very telling. That's like a very telling thing. That just should solidify like how much of a threat Galactus actually is. And judging by the amount of like just, universal praise people are giving this movie online, I don't doubt one bit that it's going to do well this summer at the box office.
Yeah.
I'm wondering that, like whenever we get to Doomsday and see, like the Fantastic Four, interact with Namor, like anybody who knows those comics, they know that is definitely some tensions and interactions between Namor and Sue Richards. So I wonder how they're going to play that out.
Yeah.
What's up,
I
Arlo?
don't think they're going to do it.
You don't?
No?
With that controversy around Namor, they probably not going to have him in much.
But no, what you mean with the actor?
Yeah.
That was proven innocent.
No, I get that, but still, people don't care. People already was mad that he was announced to be in Doomsday. So
I don't think Marvel cares though, because
I mean they probably don't, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to go.
They kept him. They didn't keep Jonathan Majors.
That's what I was getting at. It's like they kept him with that controversy.
yeah, and I honestly I think if they do it, that would be hilarious, because it's like, Sue, you pulling all the Latinos.
I don't want to. That works for the comics, but I'm like, man, we just getting the Fantastic Four. I don't want that shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't know
Marvel
about that.
Marvel's been pretty good about not adapting like controversial things. Like, case in point, they didn't make Hank Pym a wife beater.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like,
Right.
T'Challa ain't hooked
forgot
up with
about
goddamn
that.
Storm.
Well, because there's no Storm.
And there's no
Yeah.
T'Challa.
They're not married long
This is
either.
T'Challa right now, yeah.
People was begging for that. I was like, dude, do
People
y'all read
don't gotta.
comics?
They think that just because they saw them married, like that was an arrangement, dog. Like that wasn't.
Although they did adapt the most controversial Spider-Man story and turn it into one of their most successful films.
Yeah,
That's
That's
very
true.
true.
that's fair.
And they're about to do it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're about to do it again.
So Taj, what are your? Because I know you're very critical of these superhero movies nowadays. I know how you feel about Superman, but how do you feel about
How does
Fantastic
Taj
Four?
feel about
I
Superman?
was about to say, I'm
about
curious.
See, he's trying to make me seem like I just hate Superman. I said I'm not as hyped as everyone else is because we've already had good Superman movies. Like we've had a few, like just projects in general, animated series, live action, TV. We've had good Superman projects. So I'm not as hyped for that. I'm still gonna go see it, but I'm not as hyped because I'm like we already had good, adaptations of Superman and stuff like that.
This
But,
might be like the people that are younger. This might turn out to be like their definitive adaptation,
Right?
Like people that are growing up into this.
And
And
Taj ain't talking about them. He's talking about Taj. Come on, man.
I hope that's the
That's
case
a
for
fucking program.
Well, I mean, I don't see Taj over there going me. So I mean, it could be worse.
No, because Taj knows how to
No.
present himself on a fucking stream.
Yeah, I don't really
Yeah.
care about but like Fantastic Four, I'm hyped. I'm definitely gonna see it. It's about time we get a good one, and I'm hoping this one is good because yeah, the 2000s ones have their charm, especially the first one. But like,
Yeah,
The first one's all right.
Oh,
Except
that
for
first
the
one
second
is like a if you've had a Mount Rushmore of old school Marvel movies that kind of paved the way for the MCU. I think
might
Tim
be on
Story's first Fantastic Four movie is kind of in that
Mhm.
conversation. You know, between
Yeah.
Spider-Man, X-Men, Blade.
Blade.
Fantastic Four?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could throw that on
And then
that
you know, like,
first one.
you have other ones in there.
Fantastic
You
was
know, like
fucking horrid
you know,
though. I hated that movie. Oh my god.
you have ones in
Yeah.
there like Daredevil and Ghost Rider that have their fans, but they're not held on the same level as those other
Ghost
ones.
Rider
I like-
1 is good.
I was about to say I like
and
that
hell,
first one.
I think Daredevil is good. Well,
Daredevil's the
cut.
director's cut. of Daredevil is fucking amazing. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I'll die on that fucking hill.
Yep, got the DVD of it right over there.
But Taj, are you like you're excited for this Fantastic Four film? Like,
Yeah,
how do you
I'm
feel
excited
about
to see what they're gonna do, man.
like how you feel about? You never told me how you felt about the castings or nothing. Like,
Oh, I love the casting. I don't know why everybody had a big old
I,
issue
yeah,
with it.
me either. You're preaching to the choir. I have no clue. I don't know what the public's beef with Joseph Quinn is, or
They want
Colin.
him to be a hot guy. That's what it is.
It was
If you
because of
see
those
the
comments he recently
comparisons-
made about Johnny Storm.
Yeah, that too. But from the trailer, look, we're still gonna get like
He's still a
pretty
dick.
close
Like,
to yeah.
Yeah,
You
just because he
saw
said he wasn't going to be a womanizer, like being a hothead doesn't equate to womanizer. So
And we've already
I
had
really
a couple
wish-
of them in the MCU already.
he's still going to be a prick.
I really wish that people would take their perceived notion of like what Johnny is today in the comics, or even the Chris Evans interpretation, and put that by the wayside. Like, think about the context of this version of Johnny that he's in, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's in a parallel universe that is 1960s-esque, meaning they are the space race. Like, they are the first people in space. Like, Reed Richards is essentially fucking Buzz Aldrin, okay? Like, these are more humbler times. So don't expect Johnny to be this skirt-chasing fucking, hey, ladies, what's up? Want to see me go flame on? Like, no, fuck that. No one needs to fucking see that shit. And
Still have a
especially,
little
like,
more class than that.
I don't think Joseph Quinn would sign on for that, because that's basically like Eddie Munson in the 60s. Why the fuck would he want to do that?
and my thing is,
You
you
get to
all
cut his
didn't
hair this
complain.
time.
They didn't complain about that with Michael B. Jordan's.
Nope.
Because that
And
was
my-
probably
That's because he's just a good
'cause
actor.
he was
in
probably like the
general.
only saving grace of that film, though.
Yeah.
And either way it goes, he was still. I honestly think, like, out of all of them, I think Michael B. Jordan's Human Torch was like the biggest asshole of them all, because like he came in on straight beef like, with everybody, especially Ben. The thing is, they didn't know each other. Nobody on that team knew each other.
No.
He was on dirt with Ben from day one. I mean, the last scene of the movie, he's still like that shot at Ben was not needed. How about the four whatevers and the thing that nobody wanted? Like, what was the purpose of that? I'm
That
like,
movie
that
just
just
sucked. Okay.
like you just took a shot at Cuz for no
Other
reason.
news, Taj.
I'm like,
Water.
body dysmorphia and all of that. Like he's playing in all those trends that you want. But Joseph Quinn, I mean, the man just came at Reed's
Why did-
parenting skills,
why
and that
did
was
the thing-
hilarious.
Why did the thing from Fans Four Stick look like a breast from KFC? Like he just like a big ass
Because of body horror.
Wait, Taj,
If-
you're
if-
saying
if what-
you're saying he looked like a processed rat?
he did. Yeah, he did. I did say KFC processed rat. Listen, they don't make chicken the way they used to back. in the
I
day,
don't
man.
think that's what
No,
Phil
they
meant when
don't.
he said Jeff Schneider was going to be cooked.
But
I can't eat KFC.
Homeboy
But-
gets himself cooked on Twitter every fucking day,
Yeah.
man. Come on.
Yeah.
but still on the Marvel train. Let's move on to Daredevil. We're all excited for Fantastic Four First Steps. I can't wait. I hope that I'm gonna be in San Diego. I hope that they do something there. If they don't, I'll find me a theater out there. Tickets probably gonna be $100 freaking for my entire family, but it's worth it
I was
because
about to
I'm
say
not
you need to be
missing.
responsible.
I'm not missing that film on day one. Like, and my kids are excited for it, and they've
Wait,
never
what
seen
film?
anything Fantastic Four.
The closest theater to the convention center is like 20 minutes away.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah, just letting you know. Like I saw Deadpool and Wolverine at that same theater twice in the same San Diego weekend.
That
I'll bet.
theater,
Okay.
I imagine, was fucking packed.
It was both times.
Okay. So, I'm really excited. I hope the post-credit scene is. I hope it has something to do with like the main timeline, or we see them just like getting transported to the main Earth. Like, what if it ends on a cliffhanger?
They might end up in the battle world or whatever.
It could very much end in like a sort of like a way that Ant-Man and the Wasp ended, where like you see like the three of them snapped away, and then he's kind of stuck there. You could see that same sort of ending play out with them in this film in a post-credit scene, where they're like transported somewhere, and the answer to that is not given until until Doomsday. Yeah.
But yes, Jeff. I mean not Jeff. Yes, Cameron. I've seen what Jeff Snyder said about Sinners. Nobody cares about that clown.
Yeah, because the same thing sort of happened like whenever they ended Thor Ragnarok. It's like, oh, the ship's there, and then we see how that plays out in Infinity War.
Yeah.
So
Why the fuck did you bring that movie up? You could have used any other fucking Marvel movie as a better example, and you just had to bring up that hot pile of shit.
There's a worse Thor movie I could have mentioned.
Ragnarok.
I don't fucking like that movie. I don't like that fucking director.
Hey, there's a worse Thor movie I could have mentioned.
There's only two.
That's true.
There's only two that are worth a shit to talk about.
But you know what is worth to talk about?
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Hold on. I have to set the mood. I have
Hold
to
on,
set
I got
the
a question,
mood.
right? Lance,
What?
since you're not a Star Wars fan, do the rest of us get to talk about Star Wars Celebration?
I have it on the thing. I put it on the banner.
He does have it on the.
You know.
Yeah.
I have it on the banner on purpose. I'm going to let y'all talk about Star Wars Celebration. Trust me. I just want to get this out the way because, oh my God, was that peak?
I saw people complaining about the episode.
I don't know why. There was nothing to complain about.
It was a good episode. Like,
the only weirdos that were complaining is because they didn't see any other heroes show up.
That wasn't even my nitpick with it. I mean, it was a really good episode, yeah, but when you look at it, it was basically just them going, "Oh, hey, here's what we're doing next season." It's like, okay, I don't know if I necessarily would have liked that as an ending, but
see, if the payoff is good,
Mayor
I'll be okay
Cardor
with the ending. If the payoff, if we get Luke Cage in them next season, I'll be like, all right, cool. If we don't get none of them, I'm gonna kind of be like, all right, well.
Wasn't it already said that what the hell's her name? Kristen Ritter's coming back?
Yeah, but it wasn't like a super official, but
it's like pretty well implied.
Yeah, I'm hoping her and Luke Cage come back.
Yeah,
Iron Fist. I don't know. You can give him a shot, maybe. Possibly.
Bring back Misty.
Get if somebody other than Scott Buck is handling it, then maybe.
I would love to see Colleen come back too. She was.
Colleen Wing would be great.
Yeah. I would like to see Colleen.
Yeah. And technically, she's the Iron Fist, so yeah. If any one of them have to come back, I would hope it would be her. So
yeah, I would like to see Danny Rand get his fair due because that TV show was not it. Even in Defenders, I was like, this is better than his own show. But
fucking Scott Buck, dude,
he was always handled better in other shows. Like
he screwed up Iron Fist, and he made Inhumans worse.
Man, that episode of Luke Cage was so good with Iron Fist. I was like, man, why couldn't we get this? Like, what if?
I was like, where was this?
Yeah, I've got after I saw that, I went back because I've got the first Heroes for Hire issue where they teamed up. I went back and I read that. I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
It was so dope. And his acting was actually good in that too. Like how they was directing him and stuff. I was like, oh, so the other dude was just the issue then.
It's that same sort of thing to where, and this is just an example I thought of how, a lot of people, clowned on the show Supergirl, but always said that Melissa Benoist was better when she was like in crowds interacting with other characters and like crossovers and stuff. It was that same sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really agree with that. I thought she did a perfectly fine job in her own show.
Yeah,
and the show was fine too.
Not her performance, just like writing.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, her writing was always better in the crossovers.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of how do we feel about the Bullseye plot? Basically, like we saw Bullseye in the episode, but it was a flashback to when him and Vanessa first made the plan to take out Foggy and his snitch. I felt like this is the only Bullseye we're getting in the episode. I just felt like there was something filmed to be tacked on so he could get credited for his episode count. Like we didn't see, like, where's Bullseye? Like, where is he? Last time we seen him was after he shot Matt and he was sitting there shocked. How did he escape? I'll never know. Yeah, but I just feel like that was a drop plot line. But this episode was like
Well,
literally
you gotta
like
think about it. Didn't it get split up like the seasons?
So
I
yeah,
don't know about drop plot line, but I think the way because initially when Daredevil Born Again was announced, it was announced as 18 episodes.
Yeah,
and now we got 9, and I think we're getting 8
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah,
So
because the 9th is a Punisher special.
yeah, bingo. Well, maybe, but
Possibly.
I think leaving the ambiguity of what happened to Bullseye is actually perfect, because then when you go into season 2 and everything that's already going down with Wilson Fisk, the task force, like what is Matt going to do? Why? Obviously, something's going to happen to Karen Page to prompt her to change something about her appearance. I'm not going to say what exactly because I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't already seen the pictures or anything. But
if they go
there's
down that
gonna-
route,
they're going to have to do something. But I think having Bullseye in there is the perfect wild card, because he can pop up out of nowhere, and he's now a direct threat to not only Matt but also Wilson Fisk. So having him show up is going to be very interesting to see the how and the why. You know, unlike Joker Folio do, but it's
Why is that your example?
well, because I always like to say, you know, people like Joker for the how and they don't like Joker Folio do because of the why. Whereas here with Wilson Bethel's Poindexter, Special Agent Poindexter, he's a far more fascinating fucking nutcase than Arthur Fleck ever was.
True, I will give you that.
But ultimately, like I think having him pop up is going to also be a nuisance for the task force, because yeah, sure, those guys can throw down, yeah, they can shoot, they ain't got fuck all on Bullseye. Bullseye could fucking headshot every single one of them from at any given point. He will clown that task
With one
force
eye closed.
with one eye closed, just as much as Matt, just as much as the Punisher. Bullseye is just as much as a threat to that task force, just as Matt and Frank are.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, Matt and Frank have to be on their fucking guard for him too. Bullseye is just the perfect wild card character. He's nuts. Yeah. He's insane. He doesn't care. He does things for the fuck of it. And now that he's been screwed by Vanessa Fisk because of what happened, he's out for blood, dude. Like, we saw what happened at the end of episode 8. He fucking went for Fisk. And then he shot Matt, and he was like, okay, well, I'll just go, rethink my plan.
Right.
The shock in his face when Matt jumped away.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, you didn't see that coming.
Nope.
I didn't see it coming.
Neither did Matt.
It's crazy because the fact that I'm sure Heather's thinking, oh, he did it for me. No, he wasn't thinking about you, girl. He wasn't thinking about you. And the fact that when he opened his eyes, I don't know why. When he opened his eyes, I laughed because it's like
he said, "Karen,
you still can't see."
Todd, exactly. Like, I know it was visually for us, but I'm like, dog, you opening your eyes and still seeing blackness. Like,
fucking.
Yeah, he called her Karen, and it was just like, well,
yeah.
When he said Karen, and then Kristen's like, it's the drugs, just wait for him to wear off. I said, you got a good friend. You got a good friend. But it also hurt because he wakes up calling Karen. And also think that Karen and Frank are like making eyes at each other.
They making sexy eyes at each other.
Yep. Oh yeah. They're gonna wind up getting together next season.
Oh yeah.
Probably. Wouldn't doubt it. I think also this sets up a perfect joke for Matt to tell Bullseye at some point. Like, Bullseye be like, I shot you, and Matt can just be like, yeah, because I let you shoot me. Like, the one time Daredevil actually got shot fatally by Bullseye was because he let him.
Yeah.
Dude, Matt can rizz up fucking anyone. I agree, Dalton. Yeah. Like, he rizzed up that one chick in the courthouse. Oh man, the girl from Latvia. Oh my gosh, she was also fucking.
That's the only thing about not having Black
There's a
Widow
clip
around.
from a comment Charlie Cox was at. Apparently, he's seen that meme where it talks about every lady that Matt Murdock has been with. It says Matt isn't blind because he's gotten with Karen, he's gotten with Jennifer Walters. And it just shows like everybody on that picture. It's
Elektra,
like, sure blind? Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I like it. I like
Black Widow.
Yeah, put him with Yelena.
That would have been something to see.
He could get Yelena. He could still get Yelena.
I'm actually really glad that I'm actually really glad that they didn't have Scarlett Johansson bounce from guy to guy in the MCU, because then she would have just been like her comic book counterpart, aka a
Yeah.
slut. So
Yeah.
I'm totally
Yeah.
fine with, because it also makes sense that
Who did
it
she
made
really
sense.
date? Hulk, kind of,
Like,
sort of. I ain't like that anyway.
As much as I don't like that movie, that's the only relationship I think that could make sense in the MCU, because you have a person who doesn't want or cannot reproduce, and you have someone who doesn't want to reproduce. So it's just like, yeah, they are kind of a match made in heaven, because they're both monsters in a certain respect.
Yeah.
But fuck
that
Joss
just felt-
Whedon.
It just felt so forced in that movie. It just came off as.
I don't think they had no
Yeah.
chemistry. I was just like, this feel
No,
awkward.
it came out of nowhere. Now like
Yeah.
what you saw between like her and Steve and the Winter Soldier. They've been a couple in comics before. They've had kids in different universes.
But the actors,
timelines,
This is
yada,
true.
yada.
Very true.
Even in that one Next Avengers animated movie, they have a son that
Yeah,
kind of
they
ended
got
up
a
being
son.
Ultimate Avengers of Tomorrow, or something like that.
son. Not Ultimate, but Next Avengers, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the two I remember there being a theory that like the two Ultimate Avengers movies that came out from Lionsgate were connected to
that one.
to Next Avengers, but you clearly can tell that that's not the case, because spoiler I guess for people who haven't seen these movies, but at the end of the second Ultimate Avengers, Hank Pym dies, and you see that they that he and the Wasp in the prologue of that are shown to have a child. There's no child in the second Ultimate Avengers. There's no thing about Janet being pregnant, so that's a clear continuity break right there.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about Punisher, because his scenes were the highlight of that episode for me.
What was his
The
plan,
gore
right?
level,
He
the
jumped
gore
off
level.
roof, right? So did he just think that he was just gonna land and be okay?
The way that they landed on that car and that cop was in there, and he, I felt so bad for doing that car. I'm like, yo, these two.
I hope the
big
car's
dudes,
okay.
They crushed the roof on you.
What is it with
I'd be
what
upset
is
at
it
that.
with Bullseye and people falling on cars? Same thing happened in Affleck's Daredevil.
So I'm like they jump out, and my thing is like, I don't feel bad for any of those Matt's like, I don't want you to kill him. No, Matt, let him kill these psychos. Like they are terrible people.
Right,
Like,
let him
you
do his
can't-
job.
Like let him do what he does. And my thing is, it's the fact that like Matt, you're saying don't kill them, don't unalive them or whatever. Don't do that. But you're beating them half to death.
It's like Batman. How Batman say he don't kill, but he be beating the shit out of people, like giving brain damage and shit.
Well, Batman won't kill him,
Good.
but their medical bills probably will.
Or Spider-Man.
Like
Be fucking them up.
the fact that Matt is like using a billy club and pulling them by their necks, and you're mad because but Frank was going overboard. You're throwing big, they ain't even knives. Those are hunting knives that you're throwing it in one guy's neck. You get shot in the chest. You scream, and then shoot through the wall. I don't know how you're hitting this guy, but the dude's body, the continuation of the bullets didn't even let the dude's body fall. That's how many times they got shot in a row through a wall. What type of bullets are you using? So then they find the guy. They Cole North. They find out that he's the one that killed. He's the one who killed Hector. He's the one who killed Hector. So he's like, I don't want him to die. I don't want him. He's like, what do you mean? He's gonna die anyway. What are you talking about? This is the guy. This guy you've been waiting for. I'm like, dog, can y'all stop yelling at each other for like 5 minutes? You're like an old married couple. Then boom, here comes the grenade. Oh, look, Matt, he died anyway.
What's an action drama? People are gonna yell.
I'm like, my thing is, you're saying don't kill these people. Even their people don't care if they get killed. They throw a whole grenade in the house. I said, this has to be the funniest fight. From them bickering, the fact, like, Matt, you just got out the hospital. Also, can we just admit Buck is the worst hitman ever?
Oh my god.
Worst hit. Y'all don't, as much as Fisk knows about Matt, you don't know that he can hear you coming. And my thing is, what? Were you nervous to go kill this man? Like, ain't this what you do? Like, this is what, like, what, how, like, the fact that Matt heard you coming is crazy. and then you didn't even go tell Fisk the truth. You didn't tell Fisk at all. So does Fisk know that like Matt is still out and about, like that he survived, or does he think that they got blown up in the building? No, he does know, because then he sent more people after Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
But
did.
like nothing
I hope-
came of it.
I hope that Karen's the one who puts a fucking bullet in Buck, because then she'll be 2 for 2 as far as Wilson Fisk's right hand man. First Wesley, now
Oh,
Buck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I hate
need
Buck
that.
so much though. Like between him and Daniel, somebody please let Frank get a hold of Daniel. I've never seen somebody glaze so much meat in my life. Never. He is so annoying. Oh my
Gosh,
God,
space.
Mr. Fisk. Oh my God,
the way he
Mr.
said
Fisk.
it.
Mr. Fisk. You know, Gore, you're not lying. You're not lying. The new characters do kind of suck. You're not lying.
Yeah.
They're not the best. Like Kirsten could be written way better. She can be written way better. I would have rather they would have done the comic book route and made her the love interest like she was for Matt at one point in time. I feel as if Heather is written. I just hate when they write female characters annoying, because then it gives the weirdos a reason to talk about them negatively. Heather's very annoying. Kirsten, she's just trying to do her job. Cherry, what? Why? You thought this was a good replacement for Foggy? I hate Cherry with a passion.
Or Mahoney. Or Mahoney.
Too.
Yeah,
Mahoney would have been great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And with, like the Heather
Cherry's
stuff
terrible.
too, you can tell with a lot of the Heather scenes, especially, it's like, you know, that one therapy bit, for example, you can tell that was just put in there to, like, it was for the purpose of connecting the cast together. That was it. Like, to say that, oh, you know, like, hey, this new therapist is, you know, hey, this girl that Matt's with. It's like, okay, what else was the point of this? There wasn't one.
Yeah, there really wasn't much to it other than like, oh, hey, look, Matt's girlfriend is being the therapist to fucking Wilson and Vanessa, and it's
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like-
That's kind of it. And it's like, I mean, it's kind of a tightrope, because if you know what happens to Heather in the comics, it's actually quite fucked up. And I feel like
yeah,
You're not
and
wrong.
it's Matt's fault.
right, exactly.
It's his fault.
And here they're kind of like having her play not necessarily the damsel in distress per se, but like the
The
you know
damsel in idiocy. That's
the closed-minded girl who doesn't want to believe like the fucking boyfriend. And it's just like you see the shit that he's pulling all around New York, and it's like, hello, wake the fuck up. It's like
Damn, you're more blind than he is.
no, it will actually yes. It's like let's be real. There are a lot of real world connotations going into Daredevil Born Again season 1. There are some very real world parallels between Mayor Fisk and the current sitting president of the United States and Daniel Clark, and you could argue fucking idiots like Pete Hegseth or fucking, you know, basically anyone on Trump's cabinet. Buck is maybe Buck's a little bit more like Hegseth minus the alcohol, who knows. But fucking my point is like you could point to Matt as being like a, you know, he's a lawyer. He doesn't fucking lean one side or the other. He's fucking straight and narrow. He's all about the law, and he's literally witnessing law and order crumble before his eyes, even though he can't actually fucking see it. But Heather's just like, no, I'm going to believe what my gut is telling me. Daredevil didn't save me. I saved myself. It's like, no, you're fucking lying. We all witnessed Daredevil save your ass. Come on.
Yeah.
Like she's kind of living in denial, more or less. And her like kind of aligning herself with Fisk is just going to complicate things between her and Matt even more. But then again, at the same time, like Mac woke up after he got shot and he was just like, Karen. And it's like, okay, this relationship between these two people is not going to last. That much is evident to me.
No, and like you can tell that like Matt, he is like, despite the fact that he, you know, goes out at night in a red suit, like, and acts as a vigilante, he still very much believes in the law. Like the only time that you really see him don't believe in the quote unquote law is when he sided with Captain America during Civil War. That's the only time he really fights it. But
right,
like you still see, despite him, you know, going in these vigilante type acts, he still will go about it and, you know, relatively a lawful kind of way, or at least, you know, like his what's the word I'm looking for? His approximation of lawful.
Right.
Yeah. So what else? How do you feel about how Frank treated the entire task force. First of all,
Oh.
he read them for filth.
Oh.
He treated the oh my god, I've never seen that was the best roast session I have ever seen. Secondly, can we say a prayer for that lady cop who if she didn't die, she would never be able to enjoy the pleasures of men anymore, because they made it a point to make sure we saw he hit her in the lady parts with that hatchet.
Yeah, he did.
I said I can't wait for the Punisher special, because Netflix never did this. Like, he specifically went and then pulled a knife out and then hit in the neck. I said, dog.
Lance, are the cops coming for you?
No,
Nah,
that's
that's
me.
me.
That's me.
It's just like it's just the fact that it's like, dog, like what are we doing? Like, you just stabbed this lady in her lady parts, Frank, and you didn't care.
I mean,
And
she
then-
already had one split. He just gave her another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then let's talk about the fact that Frank Fisk, you need to check your cops, bro. Like, they're not smart.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not smart at all. If Frank got that one cop to give him a handshake, now he's missing an arm.
Well, think about how fucked up this is. Like, the fact that the Punisher created that symbol, that moniker, because he was gonna, cross that line that the cops never would. He was gonna be that kind of guy who gets in the muck to make, to see justice done, even if it's, a little bit more bloody than, like typical definition of justice would entail. And then you have it to where these law enforcement officers, these officers of justice, they take the symbol of a man who actively goes further than them and use it to do things even more fucked up than he did. Like, the whole ironic perversion of that whole stance it was definitely really compelling writing, but it really put Frank's, kind of character and morals into perspective. He goes, wait, so these guys, that the only reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because I'm willing to go further than them. Now they're using my symbol to commit all these heinous acts. And it's like such I guess the word I'm looking for is like ironic perversion of like what everyone would think in like the sense of justice is, that it just sends him off the deep end. He's like, oh no, this is not how it's going to work.
Yeah. And then it makes it all the people that he has in cages. I felt so bad for the city council because they stood up for what is right. And then Daniel was like, we're just going to have meetings with you. Daniel, please, Fisk, somebody, not even Fisk, somebody, I can't say this on live, but I want somebody to, pew pew that dude, especially after what he did to BB. And I know BB's not scared, but at the same time, she is. Also, Sheila, please, somebody use Fisk's car to, mow her down. You bogus for how you set up Commissioner Gallo. You bogus. She is so wrong for that. And I get you're fending for yourself, but you do this, and all of a sudden you hear him listening to the dirt you got, and you're just outside the office just having a full-blown panic attack. And then the cop that took Gallo to basically Fisk set up a Dexter kill room to still get blood on himself. I found that odd. I found it odd. All that plastic, and you still just got the blood all over you. Like you didn't put on nothing else. You brought those cops there who are just doing this because they don't want to die. Because after you squished dude's head, half of them was about to throw up, especially the driver. The young black cop literally was sitting there like hurling in his mouth. I said all these cops are literally scared for their lives because Fisk, you don't know when you're going to be taken out. You don't know when you're going to be taken out when it comes to Fisk rule. How are they going to stop this man? Like, I want to see. I can't wait to see how this ends because me personally, I can't see this ending with just Matt going at him like by himself. I also can't see it ending with Matt using Cherry, those two random lady cops, Angie Kim, and Karen and Josie. I don't see it ending with those people. Matt needs real reinforcements. I wish the rules were different. That way Spider-Man could come in. Maybe like they gotta show us. I know he's gonna be using, with the help of Bullseye or whatever. Cool, but I feel as if he needs firepower because first
Can
of
we
all,
talk about that real quick?
what
The whole Spider-Man thing and people bitching, talking about where's Spider-Man? Like, dude.
yeah,
And
but
then them blaming it on Marvel. I'm like, Marvel don't have the rights. It's Sony.
Yeah.
They can't just put them in a TV show. Do
the
your
memes
research.
are funny though.
Fucking
Like
bitches.
the memes and videos, the shorts and stuff, they're funny. Like meanwhile,
that would require Sony.
Spider-Man.
That would require Sony to make a smart decision. Case closed.
Exactly.
That's like they can't use Kingpin can't be used in films.
Not
Yeah,
unless
that
it's a
sucks, too.
Spider-Man
That's
movie.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is dumb.
It's a good thing we already got that.
So
Yeah, it's when it comes to the whole Spider-Man situation, I don't doubt one bit that like Brand New Day is going to have to, at the very least, acknowledge what transpired in New York during the 2 seasons of Daredevil, because they want season 2 to come out in like March, and Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out in July.
Yep.
And obviously, Kingpin made that verbal nod of Spider-Man, and I think it was episode 2 or 3. So clearly Spider-Man was like impacted in some form by what Fisk did to some degree. Whether or not it gets more than like a verbal nod in Brand New Day, we'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately, the thing is like it's a one-way street with Spider-Man because of the whole Sony situation, and it kind of sucks because I think there's more ample room for characters like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Elektra. Anyone from the Defenders stuff from the former Netflix shows has more ample opportunity to show up in season 2 than Spider-Man does, unfortunately. Like Brad Winterbaum broke it all down. He was like, look, we can't use Tom Holland's Spider-Man in live action on television. That is just something we cannot do. That's why we're only relegated and allowed 30 minutes of animation, and even then that's even in a whole different universe too. So their hands are tied, and it sucks. It really sucks that it's such a one-way street, because the deal is that Marvel Studios makes the Spider-Man movie, Sony distributes it, Sony gets like I think like 75% of the fucking profit. Marvel gets 25%, and I think Sony also gets like 1% of first top dollar tickets sold, or some fucking weird shit. I don't remember what it is exactly, but the fact of the matter that Spider-Man is a $1 billion character all by himself is more than ample reason enough for Sony to be like, yeah, no, you can use our character if you make a movie for us, but that's it. It sucks because a lot of Spider-Man's villains would lend themselves really well to being antagonists for some of these other characters like Moon Knight, like Daredevil. I mean, we're kind of witnessing it with Kingpin. Technically, Kingpin is a Spider-Man villain by origin. He first appeared in a Spider-Man comic. It's the same kind of deal with Kang the Conqueror technically being a Fantastic Four villain. That's why we didn't get him as an antagonist until Marvel bought Fox.
Yeah. And like it would be, that same sort of thing like what happened, so before No Way Home came out, whenever Hawkeye was airing around that time, the most that they were able to do was mention like events that I think happened the same week that No Way Home release. You had that Hawkeye episode where they said, hey, you should go check out the new, Statue of Liberty. And then No Way Home comes out. We see that new and improved revamped Statue of Liberty with the cap symbol.
You see the same Christmas tree too.
Yeah. So I feel like the most they would be able to do is little references and things like that just tie the things together loosely, which is unfortunate, but that's the hand we're dealt with. And I would think that, like we haven't had a single Spider-Man movie that has, like every live action Spider-Man film that's come out, whether you like it or dislike it, like this amount of time later or not, none of them have flopped. They have all been either profits or like a number of them have been close to hitting the billion. A few of them have passed the billion. There has not been a single one that's been a bomb. So I feel like, over the last, almost 25 years that we've gotten Spider-Man in theaters, that Sony would have come to their senses by now. But I realize what I'm saying there. Please tell me this is
I don't get it.
Please tell me this is a joke.
No. It's not.
You should look at the next comment under that. That's what you should look at.
Wait.
but due to the right stuff, we got Killmonger. I don't get it.
I don't either. What is that in reference to? Due to right stuff, we got Killmonger.
What next
Think
kind
they
of
went
movie are you
above it?
talking about?
Craven was going to be the
Craven
villain.
was going to be the villain in Black. He was.
News to me.
Oh, I think at one point Coogler did mention he wanted Craven the Hunter for as the villain for I think the second Black Panther movie.
Well, yeah.
Hey,
because
but
he was
either
gonna
way,
be-
either way,
he was
That's
gonna
not
bring
a
up his dollar.
that's not a bad idea on paper.
Well, he was going to do it, and then Chadwick, sadly,
I'm not gonna lie. Coogler would have cooked with
he
Craven.
would have. He would have.
Coogler would have cooked with
He did
Craven.
a better job than whatever the fuck they got to do that other movie.
We don't talk
It's-
about that movie. That movie.
What?
was
You
good.
didn't like the constipated rhino noise? That wasn't for you?
Coogler knows how to write complex villains. If anybody's seen Sinners, Remick.
Oh yes.
Remick-
Oh my god. I was just talking to my brother about
He
that.
can write complicated villains. But I want you all to have some Star Wars. Talk about the Star Wars news. Which one of you all wants to kick it up? We got a new movie with Ryan Gosling. I know that much. Star Wars Star Trooper fleet takes flight in
Starfighters?
2020. That's what I
Starship
said.
Troopers?
It takes flight in 2027 in the summer. It comes out with Avengers Star Secret Wars.
Apparently it's
for
good.
some
Apparently
reason.
it's
But
just-
see, I know my Star Wars stuff. Y'all ain't gonna judge me.
You're lying ass. Anyway,
This is what happens when Lance reads from an article.
right.
I hope it's I hope it's Rogue Squadron, or at least it's something.
I think
like
this
Rogue
is what that
Squadron.
movie was supposed
Dude,
to
I
be.
used to love that game.
Oh no, I love that game for the GameCube.
And Rogue Squadron on the
So good.
GameCube, I will die on this hill. It is the best Star Wars game made still.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
debatable.
Jedi
Yeah, I was about to
Academy.
say, that
No,
is debatable.
what was it? Yeah, Jedi Academy. Close second. Very close second.
Yeah, I'll give
Star
you
Wars
that.
Pod Racer was pretty fun on the N64. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
fun as hell. Hell yeah.
That game was
Now
better than
that
it had
is
any
pod
right to be.
racing.
Better than
Um,
any right it had to be.
I don't know. Sean Levy doing a Star Wars movie with Ryan Gosling. That just sounds like a recipe you'd be willing to try because people love to compare movies to food in certain respects. And I feel like that combination in and of itself, like you have Sean Levy, who's coming off of Deadpool and Wolverine. You have Ryan Gosling, who's having the time of his life after fucking Barbie, Blade Runner, etc. Like he is an actor who is known to just like push an envelope in a certain respect. And I could see him like playing a pilot that's in the vein of like a Han Solo type of figure.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I saw that Deadline reported that Mikey Madsen passed on a villain role for this movie. So
Because
I'm
of the
wondering,
toxicity.
I don't know.
She was like, she was like, I'm not dealing with that.
Not only is
Yeah, I
Sean
mean-
Levy coming off Deadpool and Wolverine, he also hasn't had a dud in his career yet. So
This is very
That
true.
That's true too.
Like, the only bad thing about Free Guy is the villain, but even then, that's not his fault, really.
Yeah. That Mall animated series, I'm
Damn
hyped
it.
for too.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
Maul
Yeah.
animated series.
Maul,
Yep.
Darth Maul is getting an animated series. Sam
Yeah.
Witwer is reprising the role. Yes.
Oh, really?
now,
Nice.
are we gonna see
See
some?
that?
Are
See,
we
I
gonna
know
see
about Sam
Savage is what
Witwer
I'm
being
wondering.
Darth Maul. That's dope.
No.
That's dope.
It
Damn
takes
it,
place in
no.
between Clone Wars and Rebels. So like he's training like Darth Talon or whatever her name was supposed to
Oh.
be.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
But like
cool.
I
Dude,
didn't,
like-
I didn't
Wait.
want that as the sequel trilogy in the first place. Like I don't know
Yeah.
why people was bitching though when they had that. I'm like, y'all mad about people getting stabbed,
Yeah.
but Maul was cut in half, fell
In
like
half.
500 feet
Yeah.
down to the
Mhm.
ground and still
It still
survived, and
came
y'all
back.
bitching about
Right,
him.
no.
Right. Like,
I mean,
I'm just
Savage
like,
was
nah.
one of my favorite characters in Rebels, so I was hoping we'd maybe see
Mhm.
him a little.
He's in Clone Wars, not Rebels.
Yeah,
Or
he was
Clone
in
Wars,
Clone
thank
Wars.
you. I
Yeah.
fucked that
But
up.
he died.
Maul,
he's treated
Maul dies in Rebels.
Right.
Yeah. Palpatine killed that man.
Yeah,
Wow.
Palpatine had no chill when it came to Savage. He
Nope.
fucking
Fuck
roasted
him and
that
Darth
son of a
Maul
bitch.
up, bro.
Yeah, big time.
Oh my gosh.
No,
fucking
that
still
bit
done
where
that
like
pretty
that
great.
bit, I think it's like a throne room sequence. This is vague memories where you see Maul and Savage team up together against whatever the
It's
fuck
Palpatine.
the name. Was it Palpatine? Okay,
Yeah.
that
'Cause
is
he
still
just
one of
walk
the
in and
better.
just choke out one of the Mandalorians that Maul was controlling at the time.
I love that
Because he
sequence so
sensed
much.
how much power he was getting. He was like, nah, I'm gonna shut this shit down.
Yeah, I
And
love
when-
that sequence so much.
Oh yeah. The Hound from Game of Thrones is playing
Yeah.
Game of Thrones now.
He took over from the
Yeah,
late
he's a
great
good
Ray
actor.
Stevenson. Yeah.
He's a good
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, they showed off a picture at Celebration too. He looks. They
It
got
looks-
it pretty
it looks the
close. He
part.
looks
yeah,
good.
it's
Yeah.
close enough. It's closer you can get, really.
And it's
I'm
like
excited for Ahsoka season 2 though.
I look at something
Oh,
like
yeah.
this, and I'm just like, why couldn't we get the guy who played Tywin Lannister to play Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One? That would have been
Tywin
just
Lannister.
excellent.
That would've
Oh
been
yeah,
amazing.
The dad,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
old man Lannister.
Yeah, they didn't have to do that weird fucking CGI thing. Even if
No.
I think his family was like, "Yeah, that was really weird. Why'd y'all do that?"
A lot of people were like, that was really weird. Why'd
Yeah.
y'all
I
do
was gonna
that?
say,
I
a
think
lot
it
of people
looks
said that.
good enough for that time, but the Leia one threw me off. That one you can tell
Yeah.
was like,
Mhm.
Ooh.
why didn't they just get her daughter? Like, I don't understand.
I
that.
think
If you want
I
young
think Billy
Leia, get
Lord
her
did stand. Oh no, Billy Lord stood in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they
not
barely,
in
you
Rogue
barely,
One.
yeah, she barely did anything in those movies. Like, just bring her back to play somebody. Like, the fuck,
It's like-
anybody gonna care?
Everything with Star Wars outside of the movies is either pretty good to amazing, but the movies themselves are ass.
I don't
That's
think
what-
they're ass. It's
That's
just,
debatable.
Oh, I think
It's not so clear cut.
you talking about Star Wars movies in general, or
no, just
the newer
specifically 7, 8, and 9. They were
I don't
ass.
think they're trash. I don't think seven.
I
was bad.
think they're trash.
8, depending on how you feel.
7 was fine, I guess.
I mean, you can
Eight
say
was
what you
trash.
want about 8.
I didn't even
but
bother with 9.
you can say what you want about 8, but it has got arguably out of all the movies the best explanation about how the Force works.
I was
that's
actually
cool, but
thinking.
still,
I was thinking
we
about.
were robbed.
I was thinking about the sequel trilogy conceptually on my drive home yesterday because I'm going to see Revenge of the Sith this Saturday at noon my time. So I thought about it a lot, and it's like, go back to 1970 whatever when George was just getting the first movie made. He had an outline for like a 12-part saga, right? Like he knew he had a general idea of like what he wanted to do. But then as each movie got made, he also had his own real world stuff. He's going through a divorce by the time he had to do Return of the Jedi. There was a lot of creative hurdles that came up. And obviously, like even the first movie, like they used a lot of miniatures. They were like, it took them weeks and if not months to get through the special effects of trying to figure all that shit out.
Yeah.
Like it literally changed the game in terms of special effects and all of that technical jargon that we now know today under, ILM.
Yeah.
And then you get to the prequel trilogy, right? Lucas knew what the end game was. He knew where episode 3 was supposed to end to tee it up to get it, roughly to where that you'd get the events of, 4, 5, and 6. But the point is like Revenge of the Sith had to end with the downfall of Anakin Skywalker. Everything leading up to that was George Lucas basically working backwards from that point. So, in a way, like the two trilogies, the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, had a map, had an outline of sorts, that being George Lucas, right? And then you think about the sequel trilogy. George sells Star Wars to Disney, Lucasfilm in its entirety. Bob Iger kind of swindled him out of it. Let's be completely honest here. Bob Iger kind of fucked him out of it a little bit, but even then, George Lucas made $4.5 billion. He's one of the richest men on the planet. He's fine now. He'll be okay. And he's also allowing other people to come in and do their thing. And that's the thing that Star Wars struggled with for the longest time, if not Lucasfilm in general. They could not get funding for anything because they were independent. So, with Disney now bankrolling everything and Star Wars being one of the most iconic brands on the planet, of fucking course they're going to do episodes 7, 8, and 9. The problem, and listen, I say this as someone who likes the sequel trilogy, the problem that trilogy had was there was no rough outline of where things were going to go. What they did right and wrong, they had the right idea of wanting to get a different director for each movie, just like the original trilogy. That's totally fine. The problem is, once JJ came on and Lawrence Kasdan came on and rewrote the script for Michael Arndt and came up with these characters that they knew they were going to make this movie around, they did not take the time to map out the trajectory of where this story was going or where these characters were going to be. They flip-flopped on the idea of Rey from movie to movie, and it shows. They flip-flopped on what they wanted to do with Finn from movie to movie, and it shows. The only one that's pretty consistent is Poe Dameron. That's about it.
Yeah.
But even then, that's a pretty easy character to keep consistent because he's a fucking pilot.
Yeah.
Right.
They even kind of flip-flop with Kylo from movie to movie, too.
Sure, but I would also say that Kylo's the best written character in the whole fucking trilogy.
Yeah, that's true. But, another big one that they set up pretty prominently in 7 and then didn't really do anything with an 8. You know, they built up Snoke for a good part of 7, and then he
I
didn't
was
really
mad
have
Ryan
much
did
of a
that.
presence.
That was
that,
by
that was a
8.
choice.
Yeah.
That was a choice. You know, right. Well, not Rise of Skywalker. Last Jedi is like my least favorite of the sequel trilogy. That movie and
Mine
me
too.
have
I
a
don't
really
like that
difficult
movie.
conversation.
Yeah.
You know, but overall, and then you know the biggest wrench in all of that was Carrie Fisher dying right before
Yeah,
Episode
yeah.
9. That
Yeah, and-
completely fucked whatever they had in mind. So
And it's like I will
Oh,
never
no, she died
forgive
before 8 came out, didn't she?
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I will never forgive them for not having Han, Luke, Leia, Chewie, R2,
all of them in
you
the same
gotta
frame.
blame
all in the
Harrison
same.
Ford for that.
They never
Yeah,
had them in the
that's fair.
same scene. I would
That's
never
fair.
forgive
I
them for
understand.
that.
That's a
that,
fair
but
criticism.
At the same time,
Yeah.
they would have had Harrison Ford for more movies, but you know the only reason why he was coming back to get killed off. So
Yeah, because he had been trying to
Oh,
get his
yeah.
character killed since Empire.
since Empire,
Right.
yeah, he felt
Right.
like he should have died back then. So like,
like, I'll only
certain
come back
things
if
are
he
on the
actually kills
actors
me.
too. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was never going to happen with all 3 of them reuniting, unfortunately.
I also think that it wasn't really fair.
I think
For
Finn should
Han-
have been the main character though.
That's totally fair.
For
I
the
think
trilogy,
I think it really wasn't fair that Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford had a lot of creative say over what their character did, whereas Luke Skywalker was just shackled to whatever Ryan Johnson had him do, and I was just like,
Yeah.
that's kind of fucked up.
And it makes
Because-
sense. Mark Hamill came out and said, I don't really like what we're doing here.
And he
Yeah.
was very critical of, like, you know, he says, I fundamentally disagree with everything going on with my character in this movie, but I'm an actor. I'm going to do what I do. I am going to be here for these fans, and I'm going to do my due diligence and play.
Yeah, he even said like, "Look, this isn't the Luke Skywalker I played back then. This is a different Luke Skywalker."
What do you say?
from
What do you say?
new
Jake
set of
Skywalker?
generation.
But
I
at the
was
same
like,
time, it's like he couldn't play that Luke Skywalker he played
Yeah.
30 years ago because Luke is now an aged man. He was never going to. Here's the thing that I think a lot of fans also fucking miss the point on when it comes to Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker in 2017 was never going to be this fucking flippy whippy lightsaber wielding badass. That's just not fucking Luke Skywalker.
No.
I'm sorry. Like, I know that's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. Well, tough shit. Go sit in a fucking corner and cry about it. Because that's just not who Luke Skywalker is in 2017. He's an older man. He is a man who has suffered from a very massive defeat by way of his own fucking nephew. So, look,
none of those
Also,
other
with
characters-
limited training too, like people expected him to be like
So-
super, like skilled with the lightsaber. But I'm like, he has no teachers really. I mean, yeah, you got the Force Ghost, but it's only so much they can.
yeah,
show
no,
you.
he
Like,
never had
he's not
a
gonna be
proper
able to-
saber.
No.
Yeah, he never had a teacher who was that skilled in lightsaber dueling. I mean, Obi-Wan could barely fucking fight by the time he met him.
Yeah, he was old.
The
as
thing
shit.
too is like people say that he's not like that same character we saw in Return of the Jedi. Well, the funny thing is this: Han and Leia were very clearly different characters from what they were 30 years ago. They were still like clearly very different in their mannerisms. No one complained.
Yeah.
No one complained about it.
I think the closest was Han though, like him and Chewie.
He didn't
and
really have to
stuff like
change
that.
much. He, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
people deal with trauma in different ways. Like Luke cut
Mhm.
himself off from the Force.
Yeah.
Leia and Han basically just dumped their heads into their work. That's what they did after Ben went
Yeah.
to the dark side, and it's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Whether or not you like it, that's a different conversation.
And I do have a myriad of issues with Last Jedi, but I will say it gave us one of the better Leia sequences in the entire trilogy. That where she uses the Force to get back to that ship. I was like,
See,
okay,
I don't
that's
like
a
that
display
scene.
of the Force
It's
with
weird
Leia.
because like I look at the Last Jedi and I have problems with it fundamentally on a writing level. But the funny thing is like I think the best written character in the Last Jedi is Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. I think he
Probably,
is.
Yeah.
I think he is the best written character in that movie. Like the way I've always said it is, you watch that movie, you can tell which characters Ryan Johnson gave a shit about and which ones he did not give a
Yeah.
shit about. It's
Yeah.
pretty clear. And then
Right.
the plot of the movie essentially just narrowly puts itself into a literal fucking corner. That too. Like I watched that movie and it's like I'm literally reading whatever the fuck Ryan Johnson wrote, and it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it gets into
Yeah,
the
by the
fucking
end of the
corner.
movie, it's like, where the fuck can we go from
To
here?
the point where it's like all the artificial stuff has to carry the plot.
Pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks. But
I would have really liked it if I think Taj might have said this earlier. If we had Finn as like our point of view character for the
yeah, I thought that was
sequel trilogy.
interesting.
Think about what that would have been like. Somebody who started out as a stormtrooper and then like switches allegiances over the course of these films and then becomes an agent for the light side of the Force, becomes like a new resurgence for Jedi. The fact that, like somebody who started in such a jaded, point could literally be the resurgence for a new era of Jedi, like a new era of light. That would have been such a good story to tell. But, at the end of the day, we got what we got.
Because I do think that not Ryan, but JJ did set that stuff up. Like, it was like, okay, you were kind of like Rubik's cubing it. Like, all right, do Finn have the Force? But like, it was there enough that you could be like, okay, let's see what they do with this. And
then when it came to the Last Jedi, Finn barely did anything.
Yeah, like he just screamed Rey and hung out with Rose and.
Yeah, I did feel for that one actress because I have my issues with that movie.
Yeah.
But,
she got fucking bullied, man.
Kelly Marie Tran did not deserve that at all.
No, she left Twitter because of all that. Like, and I don't blame her one bit.
It's like she don't write the fucking movie. What y'all mad at her for?
Right. It's like these are actors. They're paid to act. Like you can't blame the actor for a bad script. It's like they're acting the thing that they were paid to act in. Sometimes the thing they were paid to act in isn't the best written thing.
Honestly, the scene that bothers me the most with her in it isn't even a fault of her as an actress. It's a fault on the director and it's a fault on the editing. There's a scene where they're on crate and they're in those really shitty speeders, right? And there's a scene where they do like the typical fucking in the cockpit showcase, like they show the character in the cockpit. Well, it's her character. It's Rose Tico. She's in the cockpit, and literally the frame is going up and down like a goddamn Funko bobblehead. And I'm like, I fucking hate this. I hate this so much because it just looks so technically unappealing. This is bad. This just looks bad. Who the fuck okayed this?
It's hard to focus on what's happening.
Right. And it's like you're making her look like a fucking crying baby. And that's not cool. Like I think she deserved better in that instance. But overall, I didn't mind the character. I thought, she had a very compelling story. She's like, my fucking sister died fighting the fucking Empire or the fuck, the First Order. Like, and then like, I don't know, man. Like, I see a lot of negative Star Wars fans just dump on this. They dump on the Acolyte. They dump on Kenobi. They dump on a lot of different shit. And I'm just like, do you guys even like this shit, or do you guys just like bitching about it? Like,
there's legit criticisms, but God,
and the thing is that they'll sit up there and bitch and be like, yeah, well, Lucas shouldn't have kept it. Should have kept it or whatever. I'm like, he got hate for the prequels and the special editions.
Right.
No one
did you really want Lucas's version of episode 7, 8, and 9 where he was talking about the wills of the Force, where they actually go inside some little
the Force world?
Oh God, that would have been bad. People would have hated me for it. It's like, yeah, we would have.
And the stuff that like people hated that Lucas did 20 years ago, a lot of those people are saying they love it now. Is it going to be the same sort of thing like in 15 years with the sequels? Maybe not.
Now here's irony.
I think they're doing a good job of it, though. Like how with the Clone Wars series. Like, I'm sorry if that didn't exist, I think people would still not like the prequels as much. I think the 100%. But I think they're doing that now.
100%.
The Clone Wars 100% amplifies everything in the prequel trilogy.
Right. And
no
I think
doubt.
They're doing that with like Ahsoka and like Mando and all of that. They're bridging that gap so that by the time we get to episode 7, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's how
what's really funny? Omega mentioned how George's initial idea of like the Force world and all that shit. Dave Filoni fucking does that in Ahsoka to an extent.
Exactly.
He shows you the fucking Force world. He shows you a bit of the will. Like, he shows you all this shit. And people are like, oh, Dave Filoni, you're the man. You're our fucking Lord and Savior. Basically treating him like fucking Marvel fans treat Kevin Feige. And I'm like, you guys need to fucking get off your knees. Jesus Christ. Like, it's just some fictional shit, for fuck's sake. Come on, man.
I'll never get off my knees.
All those fucking entitled fans too that this is one that really gets me. And I'm not trying to stereotype a generation when I say this, but I see this a lot, especially in older fans, where they will take these IPs like Star Wars and they'll say, well, can we get something like fresh and new here? Like, can we get something to spice it up? Then they get said thing that is new, i.e. perfect example, the Acolyte, and they still bitch and complain and just smash it to pieces so that they can't even really analyze the new thing that they've gotten. They just bash it to bits because the internet told them to.
I think the biggest disappointment of their films under the Disney era was having Han Solo release mere weeks after Infinity War.
Oh yeah, that
movie should have been moved to December like every other Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
It would have done so much better, but no.
Even though that December, you had things like Aquaman and Spider-Verse, I think the Star Wars movie would have been like it would have still made good money.
Honestly, had Han Solo come out in December, I feel like it would have done what Aquaman did.
Yeah,
Aquaman.
and
It would have not
would've
monetarily,
done
but it would have done for Lucasfilm what Aquaman did for DC. More or
kind of
less.
like what Rogue One did for them back in 2016.
Yeah, I saw
Right.
that.
Yeah, that was I saw that on Threads.
Wait,
That's
wait,
Oh,
wait,
Blade
pretty
would kill
funny.
everybody.
This is random, but it's funny as hell.
Blade would kill every
What the fuck
fucking
is wrong
body
with you?
in
You
that
think
movie.
this is a joke? You think this is a fucking sitcom?
I heard you
I-
guys
you know
might
what?
be having company.
I wouldn't mind Ryan Coogler doing Blade. I think that
I would not either.
I think everyone is on that train after watching Sinners.
Yeah, I think that should.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to see that this weekend. So, man,
It's
I'm
great.
excited.
Jake,
It's gonna be
Jake, this is gonna be like a wet dream for you. So can try to contain yourself. Try to contain yourself. I know, I know, like Jim
I
Crow
already
era.
feel like I
is-
know what I already feel like I know what you mean.
I know Jim Crow era is like your jam, but like just be
You
easy.
bastard.
Your
You
people are in there. Your people are in there, but be easy. Be easy.
Yeah, your people are in there. They're smiling. They've got blood in their teeth. You'll be fine. You'll be having a great old time.
Hey, they
Doing
got
Irish dances.
They got
Hey.
blood in their teeth, and if they're shut up at the same time, that's just how I like them.
I agree. I want him to do original things too, but I wouldn't hate it because I think he'd be able to. I think he'd knock it out the park. He took two of the most oddest combinations and made a masterpiece.
Plus, he wouldn't be defined
Vampires
by
and Jim Crow era South.
right. He would also not be one of those directors that's kind of defined by his contributions to the comic genre either, because there are people that have made comic films, for example, but they're not defined by those things. Like they
Blade
have,
will be 90.
they have
I would
range.
rather
They have a range for those things, and he would
I
be
would-
one of them.
I would rather Ryan Coogler do whatever the fuck Ryan Coogler wants to do.
Yeah,
He's earned that. He has 100% earned that.
Yeah, and I'm not really a horror fan, and I don't like musicals at all. Absolutely love this movie. Sinners was amazing.
Yeah, and the funny thing about Sammy about Miles Canton, people are talking. You know how like the religious weirdos, the religious nuts get on the internet and do all this stuff. The thing about Miles Canton, his family is like a legendary like preaching lineage from New York City.
No shit.
If they were worried about this film, they wouldn't have let him do this. If they were worried about this, he wouldn't be. He's been touring with the artist Her since he was 16. He knocked this role out the park. If they were married, if they were worried, this wouldn't have been an issue. Like, I wish people would stop being weird, bro. Like, he like let this man enjoy his flowers because he's gonna go far. Like either way, like people thought this was his big break. No, he's been out there. He's been acting. Like he hasn't been acting, but he's been on the scene. He's gonna have a name regardless, whether it was in the secular world or just still, like taken after his mom and his grandfather. He was gonna have a name regardless. Like let this man have his flowers. Teaming up with Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. Oh, he's definitely set for life now, but he was already set before this. Like I can't wait to see what he does next. Like his voice is unique, and that's another thing that I felt set this movie apart. Like Todd, you haven't seen it yet. You gonna love it, bro. And you kind of look like the one of the brothers. Like you give me a Michael B. Jordan vibe.
Oh boy, here we go.
He doesn't look amused.
I was on my phone. My bad. I was.
Whenever I
Good
glaze
cover,
Taj,
good cover.
he just doesn't pay any attention.
He's
to
like, I
me.
ain't listening to this shit.
I'm gonna stop giving you compliments. All right.
Good.
Hey, Ronan, you there?
Finally.
I don't know where Ronan jumped in, but that was
Yeah,
it.
we was talking about Star Wars. He came in as soon as we started talking. I thought
Yeah.
he was
Yeah,
gonna say
that was like fate.
But
I mean-
before we wrap up, I know Phil hated these.
I didn't hate them. I was just being funny. That's Ultraman and the Barovian Hammer.
Oh,
The hammer of but people think that Lex is in that suit.
oh God.
You guys know Ronan's been here for like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, he hasn't.
No,
said
yeah, I
anything.
just didn't hear him say anything.
Wait, he
Can you
typed.
hear me or no?
We can hear you now. Like it's kind of muffled. Are you still in Japan?
Yes, I am.
How's it going out there?
It's good, dude. It's so much more peaceful than back in the States. Yeah.
When are you coming home?
Pretty soon. I want to give the exact details because I don't want nobody doing nothing crazy. But yeah,
That's fair.
I do.
Yeah,
some
you're
crazy
not going to
stuff.
pull a Jolly Somali, are you?
fuck no.
Damn it.
Okay, but also I want to run over these toys. I want to hear Phil's in-depth thoughts about these toys. Also, it is a shocking, like, we don't get any Hawk Girl figures, and I know like there was a big talking point. Like that's weird, right? Like McFarlane Toys not dropping a Hawk Girl figure.
Is she the only hero that doesn't have one right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
weird.
maybe they're sexist. I don't know.
Or maybe the actress wanted a certain cut, and they were like, "Yeah, screw that."
They probably looked at her and were like, "Your movie didn't make any money. You don't get to make demands."
But they gave Metamorpho
Kidding,
one,
kidding.
and I he's not. From what I understand, he's not even a part of the team. He's just like an outlier in this film too.
I wonder if that kaiju thing's gonna get a toy or not.
He
It
did,
does. It does. It
Oh,
has
it does?
toys.
Like
Yes.
$70.
Yeah.
Jesus.
but I will say this figure looks good. Like I'm gonna grab this.
Yeah.
I'm not
Even
getting
the
that.
robots have figures, and Hawk Girl does not. That is weird.
Again, she's having an amazing year and a half between Alien and now to this than Last of Us. So it'd be odd
This is
not
fair play.
to give her the
Man,
promotion,
could they
so.
have gave him a better haircut, bro? Y'all, why they gotta play us like that?
I mean,
Is it too political for you, Taj?
what haircut is he?
No.
That's
He ain't
Mr.
got no
Terrific's
shape up,
hair.
no lineup. Bro,
That's-
that's bad.
You rather him have the braids?
No, but they could
His
have
hair's
shaped it up, man. Like, what you doing?
No, Lance, it's like Randolph said. It's not sexy enough.
I know. Hey, he looked like
like he looks exactly like the actor.
this is weird, but Nicholas Hoult just has like the perfect shape head for like a bald head.
I knew.
I don't know how other else to frame that. Like, his head is perfect for Lex Luthor. I don't know why, but it is. Like, he's gonna make an excellent Lex. Like, I hope we get to see him in a Lexo suit. But yeah, this
Is that the
this-
kaiju thing?
yeah, I
Yep.
guess this is a slime battle, so I'm assuming that Superman might get eaten by this thing and just bust out his tummy.
Why he look like he's smiling?
You're gonna bust out during the movie, aren't you?
I might. It depends on how Phil feels about the movie. I'll contain my excitement.
Oh, his
buddy.
bodily functions are dependent on your feelings. Oh boy.
Yes. The Pop Funkos I'm gonna grab, especially the Crypto. The Crypto one I'm sold on. I like dogs.
You know, the last time I bought Funko Pops for any superhero thing was actually the Penguin. I got Oswald Cobblepot right here. Even though it's from the Batman, they still call him Oswald Cobblepot, but that's besides the point. Before that was when the Snyder Cut came out, I got all the Funkos of every hero and Darkseid, so that was cool. I think I even got to Sod too. I'd have to go dig into storage to see if I can still find them, but I don't know if I'll get any of these. If I do, I'd probably get Crypto too, personally, just because.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think when the last time I got any was. I know I got one for Green Goblin from No Way Home. I know I got that one, and
Yeah, that
I think
tracks.
I got the dead Zombie Strange Funko from Multiverse Madness. I think that was the last one I got.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about? I saw people complaining that Metamorpho was practical. A lot of the stuff in this film is practical, and I think it's really cool.
Why would they complain? That's
because they say in the behind the scenes image that some people say, oh, this is we have Thing at home. Oh my God, this looks terrible. Why does he look like? It's a behind the scenes image in a practical suit. Why are people mad about that? And then people were mad about the robot too being practical.
Yeah, that was
saves their effects budget. If anything, it lets them allocate it better.
And I get why he's practical. Like,
Yeah,
you don't need a lot of
they're not,
effects.
they're not having to burn so much of their CG budget on just having people stand around.
Right.
And people talking about the shorts, but I'm like, y'all haven't seen Metamorpho in a comic, have you? He's not butt ass naked.
No, like he's decked out in like a purple and orange thing. So
he just wears shorts because he doesn't want his dingle dangle dangling. Like you're complaining about the shorts. That's weird. Like, but I think he looks great. Like, honestly, like I think he looks great.
And you're kind of like what you were talking about with Lex. I think that like Anthony Carrigan's head shape is like ideal for that.
Yeah. Oh, this is the better look.
Really good.
Yeah, this is a better look at Kaiju from like the McFarlane toys.
That man ugly.
Did Stitch take steroids or something?
He does look like Stitch.
I was about to say. A Stitch on a crack or something.
Like you can legitimately see like that's Anthony Carrigan all in the face. Like you can see it.
Well, I'm about to head out of here. My Dungeons and Dragons game's about to start, so
we're all about to head out. You can
nerd. Just kidding.
Nah, he is
yes.
a nerd.
There he is.
But
yes, you see all the
oh nice
TTRPG books.
Oh, I was just doing
Oh no, that's like, I mean that I know what you mean, but yes, I am a total complete nerd. But yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all later, getting ready to start.
Take care.
Take care, man.
Mucho love.
But I made Taj a promise.
That promise being?
I made Taj a promise.
Apparently he's confused.
Right.
About ending on time.
Oh yeah. I got stuff to do. Yeah.
I made Taj a promise. And I'm glad Ronan is here, but I'm glad he's also enjoying his trip. And
trying, bro. Like I try to be here earlier on time, but I get the time zones F it up.
I get it. Well, I hope whenever you're returning, I hope you have safe travels home, all that good stuff.
Bro.
Jeffrey, you're not alone in this, but
Lance, we didn't really I think you brought this up a little bit, but we didn't really talk about like any of the TV deaths, did we? That you said was going to be.
No, we talked about Joel and Bobby earlier.
Oh yeah, I thought it was just supposed to be like just TV deaths as a whole. I didn't know if like you were going.
Oh yeah,
they didn't really want your opinion on it because they knew you wouldn't shut up about it.
Oh yeah, we didn't. We'll do that. We'll do that next week. We'll make sure we do that next week, Jake. So remind me.
I'll remind you.
We'll talk about the TV deaths, but I'm 2 for 2 this week, and I'm over it. But Phil told me to stop being a little girl and to grow up because it's fictional deaths. But
I said nothing of the sort. I said absolutely nothing of the sort. Sir.
Why the hell are you listening to Phil anyway?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's problem number one. Why are you listening to me?
I don't know. Hey, Taj, before we go, what you got to tell me, what happened with Jordan on All American? Like, why did he get jumped or potentially halfway murdered? What happened? Like, what's?
I just saw clips on TikTok. I didn't like watch the whole episode myself. It just popped up on TikTok.
So like that's
apparently he need like a transplant or something, and so Olivia is supposed to be in the next episode, but then they finally told everybody that what's his name, Cash is his cousin and stuff. So
I'm thinking they was gonna make dude Billy's brother.
He is. His father is.
Yeah, that's dumb. Make Cassius the brother.
So actually, it works because he's older than Billy. So the mom had him in high school, like teen.
Wait, Cassius is older than Billy?
No, Cassius' dad.
Oh, okay.
He's the half brother, but he's older. So she had him like as a teen and got rid of him while she was in high school.
Oh,
yeah. So that's what happened. But yeah. So that's why like Billy and them never knew. He's not like GW's son or anything like that. So he's from someone else.
Okay, but yeah, it's still weird that they made Jordan get stabbed.
Yeah, that
I
was
guess
stupid.
they-
I don't know what the fuck happened.
I guess they said enough people got shot on the show. So
Well, he the only one that ain't had nothing crazy happen to him yet, so it makes sense.
his shoulder.
Man, a football injury. So no, man. Coop got shot. Patience got stabbed. Spencer got shot. Who else?
There were a lot of
I forgot Patience got stabbed.
there were a lot of
That
shots
shit
in
was
that
stupid.
show.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's a black show. I guess it just happens. Because they just think that all black people get stabbed and shot, but
Yeah.
I haven't been. That's a lie. I haven't been stabbed. But
How does one get halfway murdered when you get stabbed but you don't die? Yeah.
yeah, it looked like a flood.
Oh, you mean like when
Because of
you mean
Khalil.
like-
Why does Khalil's see? I gotta catch up. Why does Khalil's dad have beef with Jordan?
Because he don't like the fact that his son living with him.
Khalil moved in.
He been with them. Where have you been? How the fuck?
Oh,
How do I know that? And I ain't even been watching.
bro, I have not watched it since episode 1. I've been trying to wait so I could buy the whole season
Oh,
and not feel like I wasted my
it'll
money.
be on Netflix. What you gonna buy a whole season for?
I was gonna buy it on Amazon Prime so I could watch it as it's going.
For what? Just watch it when it all go. The finale about to happen. I think it's about to go up on Netflix. Just binge the shit.
I just got a kick out of
Okay.
what Matt said. He's like, oh, like, how does somebody get halfway murdered when they get stabbed and don't die? I just had a flashback. I was like, oh, you mean when Oliver Queen had a sword ran through him and he got kicked off a fucking mountain and he still didn't die?
I think he was dead technically for a little bit.
Oh, who knows?
Yeah, thinking
but-
about that was kind of like how the
Yeah.
fuck.
He lost that
And it
fight
wasn't
with
like, and it
ease.
wasn't like he landed on like snow. He like smacked the fucking shit.
Yeah.
He should have been dead, bro.
Oh yeah, because Lois got a Funko Pop, but Hawk Girl didn't. Like Isabella Merced needs a Funko Pop.
So that's
gonna
not
lie.
true, by the way. Like
Yeah.
that's not true. There were female Funko Pops.
Well, also
because Killer Frost got a Funko Pop.
keep in mind
Yeah,
they
I'm
also
about
do
to say,
Funko Pops in waves.
Yeah, Sarah had Funko Pops, and yeah,
I was gonna
like
say Killer
Supergirl
Frost
had one. I'm pretty
did.
sure. Yeah,
Supergirl did. Sarah
Iris
Lance
didn't get one because nobody like Iris.
Jake.
Thea, like as Speedy, had a Funko Pop. So that's
Yeah.
another
Hey,
one.
I liked
no one
Iris.
likes
I liked her
Iris,
a lot.
so-
And didn't J.R. Smith like Iris?
I like
but they
Candace
ain't even
Patton.
together.
Yeah.
So
I really
broke
like
up.
Candace Patton.
I mean, she a fine ass woman.
I like Jessica Parker Kennedy.
Tosh said that
I love her
Tosh
too.
said
You always like them young, you fucking weirdo.
She's
Just
older
like
than
Candace
Candace. It doesn't
Dang.
make sense that she's older, but she's older.
it doesn't make sense that she's older
You
because
look
she looks
younger
way
though. It's
younger.
so weird.
Yeah.
Hey man, black don't crack.
I was making a joke about the Flash show, not the actress herself, but yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, guys, we have come to the end of the road, and
This was fun.
I can't let go, but it's supernatural. That's all I know because Tosh is looking weird. It got weird. I'm sorry.
I was trying to figure out what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, I was quoting Boys to Men.
Oh,
Oh,
that
okay.
makes sense.
It's like, where is this going?
Jake doesn't know who Boys to Men are because
Listen,
they're
I
black.
didn't listen to Boys to Men like that because I'm
You.
from the hood, and my mom and them only listen to like the hood boys, so like Jodeci and
Wait,
stuff.
Oh,
So
you guys
I
were
know
the boys
some
in the
Boys to Men
hood.
songs, but you know,
You were the-
Jake, too
You
soon.
were the boys in the hood, Tosh.
when I was younger, yeah, I didn't get shot though. I ain't Ricky. I made it out.
Tosh, I didn't know you were a YN back in the day.
Yes.
Jake, do you know what
I still
do
get
you-
called the YN, but you know,
Jake? Do you know what a YN is?
I'm not saying it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not.
I'm trying to bait this man.
I'm not saying it.
Do you know what it is, Phil?
What?
A YN.
It's a,
It's kind of self-explanatory. That's why they keep laughing. Last time,
If the N stands for the word, I think it does, possibly.
yeah, it does. Yes.
oh, you mean Gangster Mickey's favorite?
Shut your bitch ass up.
Oh, but guys, thank you for being here today. For Daren, who's also here but is suffering from a headache. I hope he's doing okay because he's the best. He's the best of us.
He is indeed.
Yeah.
That's why you asked him to host this July. You know, instead of that guy up there.
He's the one that won't get us in trouble.
Yeah. He ain't me.
But yeah, we will catch you all next week. Maybe we get more news this weekend. Going into the week. Thunderbolts
next week might be dry.
Really?
In terms of like content to talk about, ain't nothing on.
True, because Thunderbolts doesn't come on to the end of the week.
Yep.
And
Well, I'm
Daredevil's
sure.
done, so.
I'm sure we'll
Daredevil's
get.
done,
I'm sure we'll get some movie news or something. Some will drop. Some
I already got my
will
ticket.
drop.
I can't wait to see Thunderbolts next Thursday. It's gonna be amazing.
Same. I'm also seeing it Thursday.
I have to confirm that my mom is gonna watch my kids on Friday, so I can see it before I buy my ticket. I'm not taking them to see. It's movies. I swore. I'm not taking them to see Thunderbolts because one, they don't know any of those characters, so that would be pointless.
Number two, the level of violence that's going to be in that movie.
Yeah, I'm not taking them to see
Number
that.
three, you got to spend like money on 4 tickets. That's gonna just destroy you.
No,
he got to spend 6.
Well, Lance falls into a category of like people who have to pick and choose what they go see at the movie theater.
Yeah. I think we're all kind of in that category to an extent.
Like my wife wanted.
I can go see anything.
My wife wanted to go see Sinners again, but I'm like, Thunderbolts. I gotta make sure I cover all these movies on time. I got to, because on what I'm striving to do. She's like, you know what, you right. So I'm like, she's like, just check with your mom, make sure she can watch them. We go see Thunderbolts next. I said, okay, cool. Then we were debating. We're like, they're gonna have to see Fantastic Four with us regardless. They're gonna have to, but they like Fantastic Four.
Wait,
so
when does
she's like,
Thunderbolts come out?
next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
Next week.
I'm probably going to wait till that following Tuesday because my movie theaters be like half off or something like that. So
Florence Pugh looks fucking incredible on that carpet. Oh my god!
I was just about to say, yeah. I was.
Oh my god, dude!
Like,
oh
man,
that is a
She give me a shot. I'm taking it.
She's gonna make me a lot of money.
She ain't gotta give me no money.
I wouldn't mind being hit with one of those stingers.
I'm sure you fucking wouldn't, bud.
Just
I can do this all day.
She can step on my throat for as long as she wants, and I will still call her mommy through bated breath.
If I ever get fortunate enough to see the day where Florence Pugh calls me a poser, I will die fucking happy.
I pray for you, Jake. I pray for you every night, all night long. I'd sit there and say, make Jake normal. Make Jake normal. but seriously, like
there's so many ways I could respond to that right now, but you know what?
I'm going to see. I'm seeing Jurassic World with my brother because my wife says she refuses to watch another Jurassic Park. She refuses to see another one.
I wonder why.
Smurf. I get.
The last one was so.
I get why. I get why. But Smurf.
Did it have anything to do with the fact that the last movie had giant locusts in it?
She fell asleep in it because she's like, it's the same thing over and over again.
He's like, I can take a nap at home for free.
I'm not seeing Smurfs. Superman, they're like happy as hell for Superman, so they're going to see that regardless. Like, it's no way I could just go. I could tell them like, no, you're not coming with us. I would have to deal with little kid attitudes for.
I think everyone here is probably feeling like they have to see Superman.
It's no way. It's no way I can like leave them at home. And then, like I said, Fantastic Four, they're going to be with us. I would not be a responsible adult if I left them in a hotel.
Right.
As much as like the comic movie circuit is like kind of going to be dead after July, I am at least a little bit grateful that like that's it as far as the year goes. So it's like, okay, now for the rest, I can like, pick and choose a lot easier other than looking at these ones. It's like, okay, have to go this day, have to go this day. It's like after July, I can take it a little easy.
July is easily going to be the busiest month at the movie theater for all of us. There's no doubt about it.
No debate.
No debate.
I was saying that, but I mixed up doubt and debate, and I don't know what the fuck I said as a result.
Like, I look at the next Jurassic movie, and I'm like, well, I saw the last 3. I may as well go see this one, right? Like, I've seen from Lost World on to Dominion. I've seen them all in the no, I take that back. The only one I did not see was Fallen Kingdom, and I wish I had seen Fallen Kingdom in the theater because I actually really like that one as opposed to the other two.
I saw Fallen Kingdom in the theater. I did not see Just World in the theater. I did not see that.
What
one.
was the plot of that one? Because all of them just blend together for me. I don't even remember.
Okay, Dominion is the one where they have to get the dinosaurs off the island because the island is going to explode
That's when they bring
from
the
the
OGs
volcano.
back, right?
No, that's when that's the third one. That's Dominion. No.
That's 3.
The second one is them getting the dinosaurs off the island, them eventually getting loose into the world, but there's also another plot with the little girl and dinosaur DNA. It's a fucking crazy
What the
movie.
hell?
Yeah, it's a
that's
fucking
Fallen
wild
Kingdom.
one. Yeah.
I don't even remember.
And I saw the first one in theaters for one of its like anniversary re-releases.
There you go.
I love that first one.
Oh yeah.
All right, I think we should let's kick a.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna get out of here. I gotta go pick up the kid again. So yeah. No, we have. I did. David Krumholtz also showed the Supergirl logo. Think it looks cool. People complaining about it looks cheap. You know, the usual suspects. But,
Now that
well-
I'm more hyped for than Superman.
but we'll jump into that next week. Hopefully, more comes out about that other than just the logo.
Yeah.
But thanks everybody for being here, and I will catch everybody next time. Make sure you all go blow up the Ranger Nation video from this week. It was a very, very good conversation, and yeah, we're learning
Go
that
watch me rage.
Mighty Morphin is a season 1 is a chore. But until next time, in the words of Ronan, Space Cowboys. Whose dog is that? Jesus.